What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 6AK Chapter 141 The Death of Third Hokage, Magnet Style Akame Sand Iron. Advertisement. A sting. The moment the twisted divine sword fell. The astonishing power of space distortion exploded, most of the puppet giant's body was completely wiped out, and Sand Iron was completely defeated. Puff. Third Hokage vomited blood. The waves stirred up by the wind hit the ground heavily. Because Scorpion was a human puppet, he was relatively unscathed, but that was only because the power of space did not fall on him. And at this moment, the masked man stepped on the half-body Susan, intending to kill them completely. Third Hokage's eyes were determined and he shouted, "Scorpion, leave quickly, I'll hold him back." "Teacher, I won't leave, I still have the strength to fight," Shie gritted his teeth. "Enough." Third generation slapped it away, with tears streaming down Lang Ao's face. "We will all die if this continues, this is Sanagakure. But we are too weak, no one can support us. You still have a blood feud. In fact, I didn't fight for your father, but for the village. I thank you for not resenting me. This is all the secrets of my lifelong magnet style. Learn it, leave Sanagakure, and surpass me. Become the strongest Hokage. You are still young, you have unlimited potential, you will avenge your parents, I am already old, let me, the strongest Hokage, fight again for the village, without fear of death." "Teacher, there is no fluctuation on Scorpion's face. He has long since been transformed into a human puppet. But for some reason, his mood fluctuated violently, as if tears were about to overflow. But he knows, this is not the time for sensationalism. He took the scroll of magnet style and ran out of the village. But this scene did not escape the eyes of the masked man. Just when he was about to chase after him, the third Hokage waved its broken sand iron wings and stood in front of him. The masked man's eyes were fierce and murderous intent burst out. "If you are stubborn, I will kill you first," magnet style sand iron wave. There was blood left at the corner of third Hokage's mouth. His eyes were full of determination, and all the chakra was mobilized. The sand and iron found underground had been crushed into pieces for an unknown period of time, and they continued to gush out from the ground, turning into a small ocean. Almost the entire half of Susanoo's body is completely trapped. But, still unable to break through its defense. The masked man sneered disdainfully. "How can a mere sand iron compete with Susanoo? It's just the light of a firefly." "That's not necessarily the case, there will be a huge explosion of sand and iron." Third Hokage raised his hand and pressed it to the ground. The chakra is fully infused, and the sand and iron are continuously compressed sharply. Boom, 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 15 consecutive sand iron funerals. It made the half-body Susanoo tremble continuously, and cracks spread from it. But, after all, Susanoo is superior. The third Hokage chakra was completely exhausted, and even overdrawn its life. It had lost its voice and fell to the ground. The masked man pulled off Susanoo and walked over with a flash of admiration and pity. As expected of the strongest wind shadow, after all these years. He actually surpassed himself again. This move is comparable to the one he used when fighting against the mirror. One time is too much. But it's a pity. If you have enough chakra, you might be able to have some influence on me, but this is fate. Black Zetsu emerged from the ground and asked hoarsely. The body of third Hokage was recovered, right? It may be useful in the future. Okay, but I accidentally let the scorpion escape. Now I can't create the illusion that the two wind shadows died together. The masked man frowned. It makes no difference. Let's just say that the third Hokage discovered the crimes of the scorpion puppet and originally wanted to punish him. But the scorpion resisted the Hokage, killed him, and defected. Black Zetsu thought for a while and replied. That's absolutely possible. The next step is to hunt down the S-class traitor scorpions and find another traitor ninja Rasa. Then we can use Sharingan to control Sanagakure. Advertisement. I just don't know where Luo Sha is. The two looked at each other. Understanding this, White Zetsu began to search for Rasa's location. Since this battle covers a wide area, it stands to reason that Sanagakure's people would discover it. But not really. This is like fighting alone against Akatsuki's Deidara in the original novel. Sanagakure's ninjas can only shoot crossbows, or they can only watch. Coupled with this period of time, these two Hokage became increasingly decadent. This caused dissatisfaction in the village, and all the people around him evacuated to avoid suspicion. This just helped the masked man cover up the truth. Even if Shaw announced the truth about Sanagakure as a traitor, he would not be able to prove the truth. After a period of time, on the border of rain country. The rain was pouring down. In an ordinary cave, Shie was wearing a black robe and opened the scroll in his hand, which explained the principles of magnet style. As well as magnet style learning method, there are also many notes, very detailed. Seeing this, Shie's heart trembled slightly, and there were some fluctuations in the young man's face. Actually, for him, in fact, third Hokage is like a father. Especially after the death of his parents and Grandma Chiyo, third Hokage is still very concerned about life even though he doesn't know how to use puppetry. "Teacher, I will avenge you, Konoha, Uchiha, Rasa, Sanagakure, I will get everything back sooner or later, starting from this magnet style." Scorpio looked at magnet style in detail. The principle is actually very simple, it is the fusion of thunder attribute and wind attribute nature transformation. But learning the magnet style is not that simple. Except for Luo Sha, who learned the magnet style from the Third Hokage, few people have learned it. And why doesn't Third Hokage teach Scorpion? It's not because Scorpion is not talented enough, but Scorpion prefers puppetry skills and completely disdains the blood inheritance limit like magnet style. He thinks his art comes first, but I experienced 2 beatings by Uchiha. In less than a month, he completely learned the magnet style and mastered Third Hokage's famous stunt. The ground began to crack, and grains of sand and iron emerged. Xie looked at the red sand iron suspended in his palm, and a puppet-like sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Although I don't know who is stronger, the teachers are mine, but the characteristics of Luo Sha's placer gold mine shouldn't be as powerful as mine. P.S. Sand iron is checking the information. So the color is red, but the properties seem to be harder and thicker. Rebel Ninja Rasa controls the underground, placer gold mine, the teacher should control true sand iron, and I control Akame sand iron. On the surface, he is completely ruined, but in fact, he and the Third Hokage developed a giant puppet, and it can also cover itself with sand iron to defend itself. This magnet style is a bit interesting. Everyone's physique attracts different types of minerals. Zitsa, back then, you deserved death for assassinating the teacher, and you defected when I was young and had no time to take revenge, but this time we are all traitors. He is also very talented in magnet style, but he is not willing to learn it. But what is strange is that, completely different from Third Hokage, the color of these sand irons is dark red. Sizzle. But there are indeed sand irons with these 2 names, but there are too many types of sand irons and it is difficult to find them. The characteristics are considered secondary settings. Xie raised his hand and pressed it on the ground. Placer gold is a mineral containing a small amount of gold, and it is largely due to the fact that the Baron Sanagakure can survive. I want to see your magnet style and mine. Who is better? Chapter 142 Kakuzev's Scorpion. With your back against a big tree, you can enjoy the shade. Advertisement only. Xie searched for a long time but could not find any trace of Luo Sha. Ever since Luo Sha defected to Sanagakure, there seemed to be no news about this person at all. The ninja world is so big, it's so difficult to find someone, unless there is an organization to rely on. You have to find an organization. Sha frowned, having a plan in mind, so I found a small village called Rain Shinobi Village. There were few people here. He rode in Fei Luhu and controlled Fei Luhu to pretend to inquire about news in a tavern. Have you heard? The leader of our village has started recruiting people? Recruiting? Is it Nagato-sama? Yes. Some people began to doubt. But I heard that Rain Shinobi Village doesn't need so many people now. Are you talking nonsense? Of course not. There are advertisements posted everywhere in Cloud Shinobi Village now. If you don't believe me, go take a look at the village gate. It's just that the person currently in charge of recruiting is Akatsuki, the ace employment organization under Rain Shinobi Village. It is said that it doesn't matter where you are from. No matter whether you are rich or not, no matter your age, as long as you have a skill, you can go for an interview. Any origin is acceptable? Someone said cautiously. Are you sure? Is it okay to rebel against a ninja? Of course. Masters Nagato and Yahiko of Rain Shinobi Village don't mind rebelling. They think that rebelling is not necessarily a bad person. Of course, they will also consider whether this person is really a pure evil person. Anyway, they won't embarrass you. That's great, I can try it. As expected of Nagato-sama, it is said that he possesses the legendary sage's eyes. His style and ambition are indeed unmatched. That's right, let's go together. The scorpion hides in the amber. He raised his eyebrows slightly, feeling interested. Rain Shinobi Village's Akatsuki organization. This organization has a great reputation. It has been hired by the village many times. It has a good reputation and strong strength. Since you don't care about the identity of the rebel ninja, then I can take a look. Of course, it's nice to lean against a big tree to enjoy the shade. With the help of the Akatsuki organization, isn't it easy to find Luo Sha? Thinking of this, he immediately took action and headed straight for Rain Shinobi Village. But, just left not long ago, he noticed something was wrong, turned around and glanced over with sharp eyes. Who is it? Dared to follow me? Get out of here. As expected of Fourth Hokage, your observations are so meticulous. Someone came out from behind the woods. This man wore a gray turban, and his green eyes revealed a coldness. Sha looked him up and down, and suddenly looked wary. Who are you? Wait. Are you Kakuzu, the S-class rebel ninja from Takigakure village? It's me. It seems I'm quite famous, Kakuzu said hoarsely. Of course Scorpion knew about him, although Takigakure is a very small shinobi village. And its presence has always been high, but as early as the war era, Kakuzu, as an elite of Ryugan village, accepted a difficult task sent by the top management. That is, assassinate the first Hokage. However, the assassination attempt failed and he fled back to the village. What awaited him was condemnation and heavy punishment from the village, and he was imprisoned in prison. This was a huge blow to Kakuzu, so he escaped from prison with a grudge and took away the most powerful secret technique of Takigakure, Earth Resentment U. After that, he took away the heart of the senior officials of Takigakure village in a cruel way, and then he was hunted and wanted to become a traitor. This was his early experience. But even if the assassination attempt on first Hokage failed. Advertisement, but after all, he touched the god of ninja, and Kakuzu's name spread throughout the ninja world. As a member of the Fourth Hokage, I have read a lot of information about traitorous ninjas, so of course it is impossible not to know about it. What's your purpose in following me? Xie asked suspiciously. Kill you. Kakuzu said. Kill me? Do you have a grudge against me? Shie frowned. No grudge, but I've been asking about you for a long time. Your bounty is quite high. Killing you should be enough to make a lot of money. Kakuzu licked the corner of his mouth. Want to kill me? Do you think you can do it? Shie's voice suddenly turned cold. Immediately, Fei Luhu opened his mouth and spurted out a large amount of kunai. Phew. Whoosh, but the kunai was easily avoided by Kakuzu. But the next second, another small ball came flying towards him, and the small ball exploded. Poof! It turned into poisonous mist and slowly filled the air. Kakuzu frowned slightly, and immediately held his breath and retreated out of the poisonous fog. But the moment his footsteps retreated, at some point, the red-haired boy Shie appeared behind him and silently raised his hands. Fire Hell Formation. The flames in his hands spurted out instantly. Kakuzu's pupils tightened, and there was a movement behind him. Black threads came out one after another, and the red mask behind it opened its mouth, and the same hot flames spurted out. Fire-style head work hard. Whoops, hoo ho ho. The flames from both sides collided continuously. Seemingly reaching a stalemate, the two took several steps back, their thoughts fluctuating. He raised his hand and threw out the scroll, and a large number of puppets rose into the sky. Yes, otherwise, anyone else would have suffered a disaster if the movie made just now was made. This guy is young but has such a strong sense of fighting. He underestimated this little-known fourth Kazekage. At least Scorpion is not the same Scorpion who assassinated the third Kazekage. There were close to hundreds of them, heading towards the enemy overwhelmingly. Each one is a puppet wearing dark red clothes. It's surprising that he can cast fire style instantly from behind. In the past, I might not have been able to beat him, but now I can have magnet style. Then I'll kill you first and let my name as Scorpion resound throughout the ninja world. Instead, due to the guidance of third Kazekage, they became fourth Kazekage, which has not had any decent results in these years. Except for uniting with third Kazekage and defeating Hitaki Tsukumo. Fang Fang. Shie looked at the greedy Kakuzu in front of him and secretly encouraged him. I heard that Kakuzu is a bounty hunter who is obsessed with performing bounty tasks. He wants to kill me even though he has no grudge against me. It seems that the rumors are true. Now it seems that I have thought too much. Kakuzu narrowed his eyes slightly and gradually became serious. Scorpion actually controlled Fei Luhu's puppet with one hand, and the real body unexpectedly appeared behind me at some point. If it weren't for the GU behind me who can cast ninjutsu instantly. Fang Fang. He immediately stopped hiding his shame. Basically, he has no dazzling achievements, so in Kakuzu's view, Scorpion is just a person in name only, and he can definitely win this bounty. Red Secret Technique 100 Machine Exercises. In his opinion, fourth Kazekage is weak. Chapter 143 Kakuzu. I want to achieve a small goal of 1 billion. Advertisement, so many puppets. It's interesting. Then I, Kakuzu, will go all out. Kakuzu pulled off his shirt. Black threads popped out from every corner. 4 monsters with black stockings came out from behind him. Fire style head hard, wind style suppression. Lightning style pseudo darkness, water style water curtain. Wind style makes fire style even more amazing. The blessing of lightning style and water style makes lightning style permeate all around. Click. Click. A large number of puppets were burned. Each dark red puppet was exploded and destroyed by water bubbles. The combination of the 4 attributes of ninjutsu actually destroyed hundreds of puppets, and the puppets' stumps and broken legs fell to the ground. This scene looks very miserable. Kakuzu sneered coldly. Is this your strongest puppet technique? It's too weak. I'll accept your bounty. Scorpion didn't answer. He just sneered and raised his hand to wave suddenly. I saw the remaining broken legs of the puppet on the ground, and a large amount of sand iron was released from the mechanical mechanism. The red sand iron was very close to Kakuzu. What? Is there iron sand hidden in the puppet mechanism? Kakuzu's expression changed. There was no time to even use the earth resentment in U-fusion mode. Die. Magnet-style sand iron coffin, Shie coldly shouted. The 5 fingers were clenched tightly, and the sand iron was directly covered with it. Kakuzu's heart was shattered, and he was in great pain. He knelt down on the ground, clutching his chest. But Kakuzu is not dead. The 4 black silk monsters came over and got back into his body, replacing the original heart, and he stood up again. Not dead. His heart was crushed by my iron sand, and he's not dead yet. Shie was shocked. You don't understand at all. This is my mode of resentment. As long as my heart is not completely destroyed, I will never die. But you crushed the main body's heart and made me completely angry. I'm going to kill you. Kakuzu was furious. Black threads came out all over the body. Including spitting out from his mouth, the black stocking monster merged with him, activating the strongest fusion mode of Earth Resentment U. Earthly Resentment. Final shot. The 4 chakra mobilizations come together. An extremely astonishing chakra cannon was fired and swept over. Scorpion raised his hand to make the sand and iron flow out continuously, and he was about to display his magnet style in the eternal art of puppetry. But, the next second, a sudden change occurred. I heard someone falling from the sky, and a godlike shout came from the corner of his mouth. Shinra Tianjung, an astonishing repulsive force swept out. Boom. The chakra cannon rolls back. Advertisement. It vented towards the surroundings and all the trees were destroyed. A huge deep pit was left in the center, and a young man with red hair wearing a red cloud imperial robe was revealed. Who? Dared to stop me, Kakuzu? Are you looking for death? Kakuzu was furious. The bounty he was going to get was gone. How could this not make him angry, but he was just about to take action. However, he discovered that the eyes of the person in front of him were Uzumaki-like eyes. He immediately stopped and his tone became slightly tactful. It's actually the legendary Eye of the Immortal. You're a Rain Shinobi Village's ace mercenary organization, Akatsuki's Nagato leader? Yes, it's me. Nagato said solemnly. Why are you stopping me? This has nothing to do with your Akatsuki organization, right? Kakuzu frowned. Why doesn't it matter? Before Nagato could speak, Yahiko with orange hair came out and said seriously, you are fighting on our Rain Shinobi village territory now, and you have destroyed so many turf, trees, and animals. These are the property of our village. Your unscrupulous destruction has caused serious damage to our village. Rebuilding here will cost at least 200 million. You can compensate us. What the hell? 200 million? Such a little turf and trees are worth 200 million. Kakuzu was shocked. I said it's worth it, so it's worth it. Do you have any opinion? Yahiko said. Me. Kakuzu wanted to object, but he accidentally glanced at Nagato, who looked cold and arrogant. And thinking that the other party had just knocked away his strongest trump card with just one blow, this made his self-esteem a little frustrated. The other scorpion looked shocked. Especially when he saw the opponent's low drink and casually repelling Kakuzu, he was even more impressed. Is this the power of Rinnegan? No wonder such a character can make the Akatsuki organization famous. If he could join the Akatsuki organization, then this big tree would be too tough. Who would dare to provoke him? Wouldn't it be easy to find Luosha? Seeing Kakuzu's embarrassment, Nagato said straightforwardly, you don't need to compensate for this. I think you two are among the best talents, so I won't beat around the bush. Why don't you two join our Akatsuki organization? The compensation of 200 million yuan is not just for you. On the contrary, we Shao and Rain Shinobi Village can protect your safety. I'm joining. Scorpion said nothing. I was happy to hold Nagato's hand. I will definitely let Kakuzu join at all costs. How can I miss such a capable and profitable economical talent? The short term can be 2 to 3 years, and the long term can be 4 to 5 years. Under the leadership of the Akatsuki organization, it is definitely not a dream for each member to achieve a small goal of 1 billion. There are not many members of the Akatsuki organization now. If you join now, you will be a veteran of the Akatsuki organization. One order after another, I will definitely make a lot of money. It's very simple. If you find a bounty target, but you are not sure about winning it, you can apply for organization members to help you. I suddenly felt very happy. If Conan knew this. Kakuzu's eyes were red and he said crazily, I want to make money. I want to achieve a small goal of 1 billion. Whoever dares to stop me will be in a hurry. Join. I'll join now. Nagato coughed a few times and said seriously, we will not restrict your freedom. Joining the Akatsuki organization does not mean that you can't do your own thing. We not only don't care about your personal grudges or whether you make money. On the contrary, we can give you a certain amount of military support. Just like Kakuzu, if you want to make money, you can seek support from the organization. Nagato explained patiently. Of course you can choose 1 or more members to help, but the bounty must be distributed to them in a certain proportion. And since we, Akatsuki, provide this platform, do we also have to take a portion? Seeing that Shie was so decisive, Kakuzu became entangled. Well, if I join, will I not be able to become a bounty hunter? If that's the case, then if I don't join you, I can compensate you 200 million. Then, Nagato and Yahiko looked at each other. Your rake ratio must be higher than that of the members who join later. Kakuzu brothers, there won't be this shop after passing this village. If you don't join now, when will you wait? Oh, tell me more. Kakuzu's eyes lit up. Compensation of 200 million? FK. Can Kakuzu really do this? Don't think that you will lose this way. You must know that your efficiency is too slow no matter how you make money alone. On the contrary, as the organization gradually grows, and everyone gathers together to fight together, the efficiency will increase several times. Chapter 144 Shao organizes a welcome ceremony, a bizarre performance art. Advertisement ever since he became a rebel ninja. Kakuzu's dream became very pure, that is to be a bounty hunter and earn more and more money. And he is not a fool at such an old age. He knows very well that joining the Akatsuki organization will make money faster, and with the organization to rely on, he will no longer be weak. If enemies come to your doorstep, you can also seek help from the organization. Certainly, for Kakuzu. In fact, he enjoys the process of making and counting money more, so he doesn't mind the Akatsuki organization's commission, which is reasonable. In the original Akatsuki organization, most of the funds are actually obtained by Kakuzu's work as a bounty hunter. Therefore, it proves that Kakuzu cares more about the satisfaction of making money. If you can earn faster and more than before, and there is no conflict with each other, why not join the Akatsuki organization? Nagato and Yahiko looked at each other and smiled quietly in their hearts. Seeing Kakuzu being so active, Scorpion also showed his unique skills. Although I am not interested in bounty hunting, I can make puppets to sell to outsiders and also help the organization make money. In addition, my magnet style can control sand iron and refine the metal inside to make weapons. It can also help everyone. That's great. You're welcome to join us. Yahiko and Nagato shook hands with the two. That's all, the two joined the Akatsuki organization. These two S-class rebellious ninjas were also protected by Rain Shinobi Village. As for the ninja world, the reason why rebellious ninjas are rebellious ninjas and there is basically no way to clean them up is because their respective crimes are not accepted by any ninja village. Those small ninja villages didn't dare to accept rebellious ninjas. Once discovered by the 5 great ninja villages, this village will suffer. Therefore, Orochimaru established the Sound Ninja Village, but he was still beaten up by everyone in the major ninja villages, so he could only hide in the ninja world under a false identity. Until the 4th Ninja War, he helped the seriously injured 5 shadows and gained military exploits before barely clearing his name. But now that the war has just ended in the 5 major ninja villages, Rain Shinobi Village's behavior of protecting rebellious ninjas will undoubtedly make Nagato and Yahiko the target of public criticism. Rain Shinobi Village. On top of the tower, Scorpion and Kakuzu stood behind him. Nagato, Konan, and Yahiko were also present. This was the first formal meeting organized by Akatsuki after the new members joined. Konan took out 2 sets of uniforms from the room. The iconic Hongyun goddess robe, as well as 2 rings and a bottle of nail polish. Konan looked solemn and said, "From now on, you will be one of us. Remember, you will no longer be rebel ninjas, but members of the ace organization of the Akatsuki organization under Rain Shinobi Village. You must be cautious in every word and action. Take these rings. From now on, Scorpion, you will be the Tamako of Akatsuki, and Kakuzu will be the Beidou of Akatsuki. These 2 rings are special rings that can be used for remote communication through missing waves. The clothes are Akatsuki's unified uniforms." Oh, Scorpion and Kakuzu are serious. He took over the Red Cloud uniform from the Akatsuki organization. The rings were put on one after another, but after taking the nail polish, Kakuzu and Shaw frowned. "We have a question, we don't know whether to talk about it or not." "You ask. Why are you wearing nail polish, or bright red?" Kakuzu said with a look of disgust. "Advertisement. Because this is the welcome ceremony of the Akatsuki organization, this nail polish can be regarded as proof that everyone is a companion. If you don't wear nail polish, you are not a companion," Konan said seriously. "Do you have to wear nail polish?" "Must." Kakuzu and Scorpio looked at each other. I couldn't help but want to complain in my heart, what kind of weird performance art is this? Why is nail polish the welcome ritual for joining an organization? Kakuzu still couldn't accept it, but he could only find an acceptable way. "Is there no other color? This bright red nail polish is too girly. I want a color I like, is that okay?" "Of course, what color do you want?" "I have everything," Konan asked. "I want tan," Kakuzu said. "I want dark green," Shie said. "Okay, I'll get it right away." Konan got 2 bottles of nail polish. The 2 old men didn't know how to operate this thing. I had to let Konan help me apply it. After applying the nail polish, Konan showed a happy smile. "So lovely, I want to ask if the leaders have applied it too?" Shie asked curiously. "Paint it. Nagato is bright red, Yahiko is bright red. They like red the most, so I painted it red for them." "Obviously it was you who asked us to paint." Yahiko and Nagato pouted in retort. Konan's beautiful eyes narrowed, revealing a dangerous aura. "Huh? You too, say it again? Did I force you?" "Well, we like red, yes, yes." Nagato and Yahiko were frightened on the spot. The 2 nodded and admitted that they liked red nail polish. When Scorpion and Kakuzu saw this scene, they were immediately shocked. It turns out that the truth is that only you Konan likes this nail polish. Yahiko said slowly. "Whether it is support in terms of force, funds, intelligence, etc., you can ask for help. Of course, this is not free, and everyone can decide for themselves based on the situation. Originally they wanted to struggle. If it doesn't work, seek support from the organization. We will never allow our partners in the Akatsuki organization to be bullied in any way. Our Akatsuki organization is a savior organization, and its only purpose is peace in the ninja world." One of the 2 is only interested in revenge and making puppets. Neither Scorpion nor Kakuzu are interested. Of course, as mentioned before, if everyone is a traitor, they will definitely be targeted by other villages. Therefore, they are protected by Akatsuki and Rain Shinobi Village. Once someone is in danger, or needs to solve some problem, they can seek support. Kakuzu. "We volunteered." "That's good, one was only interested in making money, but everyone's goals did not conflict, so they didn't say much." Konan nodded with satisfaction. "Let's have a meeting now, Nagato Yahiko." "Well, let me say a few words. But I hope that everyone will help each other. After all, it doesn't matter how much money you make. What matters is that you can survive so that you can achieve your ideals and goals." Scorpion. Yes, there is no force." Yahiko stood up and said patiently. "The Akatsuki organization does not have many people now, so we still need to recruit new people, but all we want are elites. Everyone needs to pay attention. The target is to select S-class rebel ninjas. The current organization is a team of 2, Nagato and I are in a team, Kakuzu and Scorpion are in a team, and Konan is sitting in Rain Shinobi Village to distribute action funds to everyone. When working in teams of 2, be extremely careful, don't get ahead. Peace in the ninja world." But seeing how cowardly Yahiko and Nagato were, they both shut up. Seeing the appearance of the 2 of them, Konan showed a beautiful smile. "Actually, I didn't force them, and you didn't force them either, right? Don't you really like these 2 colors?" Chapter 145 Yahiko. "I know you are in a hurry, but don't be anxious yet." Advertisement, have to say, although Yahiko is not very strong. Compared to Nagato and others, he is a very qualified leader. And he has an indescribable personality charm. Just standing here can make people feel sincere and give people a great sense of convincing. Scorpion raised his right hand. "Can I ask for organizational help now?" "Sure. I want to know where Luo Shaw is, Sanagakure S-class rebel ninja Rasa?" Yahiko and Nagato looked strange. Don't you know yet? Just 3 days ago, Sanagakure withdrew his identity as a rebel ninja and made your evil deeds of puppet production public to the public because you assassinated Third Hokage, defect. The people of Sanagakure and the Daimyo Prefecture were very angry, and they directly deprived you of your 4th Hokage status, and Rasa replaced you as the 4th Hokage. Now, I guess your life is quite comfortable. Slander. This is naked slander, Scorpion said angrily. I didn't kill Third Hokage at all. He was my teacher and had a nurturing grace for me. How could I kill the teacher? It was the masked man who sought our cooperation to no avail and took action against us. We are no match for him. The teacher was killed just to protect me, but they actually put the blame on me. How disgusting. I want to kill these despicable people. I know you're in a hurry, but don't worry yet, Yahiko asked patiently. We have dealt with this masked man several times. Although we don't know who he is, we can confirm that. He is a remnant of the Uchiha clan and has awakened the rare Mangekyō Sharingan. Why is he targeting your village? Looking for cooperation? Tell us more specifically so that we can help you get revenge. Shie was too angry, took a deep breath and said, the masked man came to us and said he would help us deal with Konoha and Uchiha Kagami, but the teacher and I were already too exhausted, so we rejected him. In the end, a dark guy came out, said a few words in his ear, and then started to attack us cruelly. Not only did that person know the time and space ninjutsu, but Susanoo is also very powerful. Even if the teacher and I joined forces, we couldn't defeat him. In the end, the teacher risked his life to protect me and died in the hands of that guy. Yahiko asked. What about the other great ninja villages? Since the masked man has found Sanagakure, there is no reason for the other villages to let him go, right? Cloud Shinobi village has also cooperated. I heard that from the masked man. I don't know about other villages, Sha replied. Yahiko, Konan, and Nagato have a tacit understanding. But they were shocked inside, and they suddenly realized something. Now that the always brainless Cloud Shinobi village has cooperated, other shinobi villages may be the same, especially some time ago. The third Tsuchikage's son of Iwagakure was killed by Obito. This made the Konoha side completely confused, especially Konoha, as an ally of Rain Shinobi village. They knew very well that Obito had never left the land of fire. So, the masked man must have put the blame on Konoha. And now he has killed the third Hokage and thrown the blame back to Konoha. Then Iwagakure's side is probably cooperating with the masked man, and Kirigakure's 4th Mizukage is already under the control of the masked man. In other words, the 5 great ninja villages, all the 4 major ninja villages have secretly cooperated with the masked man to make Konoha a target. Although they know that the teacher is not afraid of anything now, it would be better if the news can be spread back so that Konoha can prepare early. Then, Konan went out. Advertisement a paper butterfly flew out of his hand, with information written on it. And Shie clenched his fists, and suddenly thought of something. That guy Luo Sha, and the masked man. I will make them pay sooner or later, since the organization can help me. Can Kakuzu go to Sanagakure with me to kill Luo Sha? Sand? No, that's too reckless. Nagato shook his head and said with a solemn expression. I have fought with him once before. The masked man is not weak. He cannot sit back and watch us assassinate Luo Sha. Unless I take action. You two may be counter-attacked. That's it. Scorpion became decadent again. Yahiko and Nagato looked at each other, but they actually had other thoughts in mind. That is, Shie and the teacher have a grudge, and they are both the teacher's disciples. Killing Luo Sha is actually a little difficult, but not that big. Because, suppose the masked man controls Sanagakure and Kirigakure at the same time. Then it is impossible to sit in the same place at the same time. As long as you find an opening, you can assassinate Rasa, and Nagato doesn't even need to take action himself. But now the situation in the ninja world has changed suddenly. Any of their actions may have irreversible effects, so they need to ask the teacher for instructions. Konoha village. Uchiha tribe land. In the patriarch's courtyard, Jing was lying on a lounge chair. He crossed his legs leisurely, with a plate of cut fruit beside him, and his expression was leisurely. Shisui was still beating his shoulders behind him and couldn't help but smile. Grandpa, you have been lying down for almost half a month. Do you think you have completely retired? Don't you care about the affairs of the ninja world? Not really, semi-retired. Uchiha Kagami ate a piece of apple. Of course he knows that the situation in the ninja world has changed now. He also guessed that the masked man should have achieved some kind of goal through the death of Third Hokage, and blamed Obito for killing Lois, and threw the blame to Konoha. But none of this matters. In his eyes, it's all a small fight and not worth mentioning. Even Senju Hashirama has been resurrected. Even if Madara appears in the form of dirt in advance, it is impossible for the two to join forces, and the Gedo statue is still in Nagato's hands. It is impossible for Madara to become 10 Tails Jinchuriki and incarnate into 6 paths in advance. He is now in an invincible position. Of course, it cannot be said that he is completely flat, as Wu Liang Immortal Technique is also being studied. With the aura of Master of Forbidden Technique, he is very hopeful to improve the perfect fairy technique that is more suitable for him. When the Rinnegan becomes 10 Tails Jinchuriki, he has a chance to surpass 6 paths Madara. Just thinking about it. A paper butterfly flew in from outside the door. Uchiha Kagami opened it, browsed it for a while, and handed it to Shisui. Shisui's expression was slightly condensed, and he couldn't help but sigh. The masked man blamed the death of Third Hokage on Zeon, and also made Zeon's human puppet crimes public. Now Zeon has a bad reputation. I have to say, this guy's methods are really insidious. Really, but compared to his methods, I'm more curious about who he is. Uchiha Kagami suddenly became interested. Since you can't do it alone, then Shisui, you and Obito go to Rain Shinobi village to find Nagato. The three of you work together to capture him alive and bring him to me. I will personally uncover his secrets. Mask. I don't believe it. Chapter 146 level mission, capturing the masked man alive. Advertisement. Shisui hesitated for a moment and said, Grandpa, are you going to take Kakashi with you on this mission? Have Kakashi and Obito reconciled? Jing asked. It's been reconciled, but the relationship is still easing, but Kakashi also wants to get your approval. Maybe you can take him with you to perform this mission. Shisui replied. No, Tsukumo is disciplining him now. This child is immature now. This task is too important. Just you three can do it. Jing refused. Yes, Grandpa. Shisui left, and Uchiha Kagami looked at his back. I thought of the previous conflict between Kakashi and Obito because they wanted to return to Sharingan. Speak the truth, in fact, he didn't expect it to develop like this at first. Nor did he expect that Kakashi would no longer be the ninja who lost his father at a young age and regarded tasks as rules. It can be said, Kakashi now has more than just fatherly love. And as uncles, they doted on her, so she was pampered and pampered. But because of his admiration for him, he seemed to have lost due respect for Tsukumo. He even looked down on the swordsmanship of the Hitaki school. This was not a qualified son. Tsukumo was indeed overblown by his own public opinion back then. But does Tsukumo really have no strength anymore? No. Cage level definitely exists. When he was still Jonin, he could break sand and iron with one sword. That person is known as the strongest Kage, and in a later stage when facing the third Kage and the fourth Kage, he was defeated by just one move. Therefore, Tsukumo is not a weakling even at cage level. Although swordsmanship is not omnipotent, it is the most basic foundation. When two people are of equal strength, swordsmanship is crucial. It's like if Shisui and Itachi opened Susan at the same time. But the swordsmanship between the two people is vastly different, so the gap will also arise from this. Furthermore, the swordsmanship of the Hitaki school is not worthless. Even without myself, Hitaki Tsukumo's reputation and ability surpass Sanin's are enough to prove this problem. Not to mention that he is not stingy with those ninjutsu, so Tsukumo is not only powerful in swordsmanship, but also masters many advanced ninjutsu. And Kakashi is now the youngest Jonin. You haven't learned all of Laozi's skills yet, and you're already aiming too high. If we act together with Shisui and the others, it's hard to guarantee whether this little guy will do anything bad, so it's safer not to take him with us. As for Kakashi becoming black or something, in fact, he can only let nature take its course. Children's rebellious period cannot be overcome by teaching. Sometimes, the more disciplined, the easier it is to rebound. In this case, it is better to open up than to block, if Kakashi takes the wrong road. The worst case scenario is to become a traitorous ninja. Sasuke's defection was finally accepted by the village, and Kakashi's defection as the son of a hero is not a bad idea. Only, Uchiha Kagami murmured in his heart, because he is Tsukumo's friend, if this child really plans to go all the way to death, maybe I can let him feel the love as an uncle in advance. The other side, after Shisui left, he went straight to Obito's house. Obito's house was not big. But the area is not small. After all, as a hero of Konoha, he has performed many S-level missions. Coupled with the support of Uchiha Kagami, life can be considered nourishing. As soon as Shisui opened the door and walked in, she saw Obito holding a photo frame, pouting and about to do something obscenely. Advertisement, Obito, what are you doing? Huh? No, nothing. Obito panicked and hid the photo frame behind his back. Shisui said with a look of disgust. What are you doing? What's that photo frame? Your expression just now was so vulgar. What's so obscene? And why did you come in without knocking? This is someone else's home. There's no manners at all. Obito said arrogantly. I was so familiar that I forgot to knock on the door. How about I knock again? Shisui said with a smile. No, Obito shook his head. The photo frame was solemnly stuffed into the drawer. There was also a small lock to lock the drawer. He poured Shisui a glass of lemonade, and the two of them sat on the sofa. Shisui seemed to have guessed something. Is it Lin's photo frame? Yes. Obito blushed for a rare time. The fingers are intertwined, looking a little cute and shy. Shisui did not make fun of him, but said seriously, there is no shame in liking someone. On the contrary. I am actually very envious of your feelings for Lin. Certainly, the most important thing is that there is still hope for Lin to be resurrected, and you still have a chance to start over. Shisui, what about you? You should have someone you like, right? Otherwise, how did you awaken your Mangekyō? Obito's face was full of curiosity. To be honest, Shisui awakened Mangekyō probably earlier than him. But what is strange is that no one except Uncle Mirror knew about the process of Shisui awakening Mangekyō. So he was curious. How on earth did he awaken Mangekyō Sharingan? Shisui heard the question, but chose to avoid it. I don't have anyone I like, so I won't go into details about the process. Anyway, I don't want to experience that kind of scene again, so let's get back to the topic. Grandpa asked us to do a mission. This mission is undoubtedly S-level. S-level? What mission? Obito became interested. His old man asked the three of us to capture the masked man alive. He wanted to reveal the masked man's identity himself, Shisui said. 3 people? Who else? Nagato, the owner of the Rinnegan? Obito couldn't help but feel a little surprised. One of the students besides the teacher? He actually wants to act with us? It seems. Uncle Jing is bound to win this time, we must not let him down. That's right. Shisui nodded heavily. The lineup this time can be said to be very luxurious. Shisui and Obito are the ultimate geniuses of the Uchiha clan, Mangekyō Sharingan. And Nagato is the owner of Rinnegan. Even though Shisui knows that this pair of Rinnegan belongs to Uchiha Madara, he still cannot help but admire this person. Because, grandfather said it, the load on these eyes is very heavy. Nagato's tenacious vitality is one thing, but his own will is the top priority, even if it is replaced by Shisui or Obito. At best it can barely carry a Rinnegan. Now, under the guidance of Mirror, Nagato no longer needs to overload the use of Rinnegan. With the blessing of Hashirama cells, his strength has been taken to the next level. The credit of the Mirror is part of, but Nagato's talent is indispensable, so Nagato is strong. At least Shisui and Obito cannot defeat Nagato alone, and the three of them join forces to form a luxurious lineup. This time, it would be really embarrassing if we can't take down the Masked Man again. Chapter 147. The three of them join forces and the battle is about to break out. Advertisement. But Shisui, Obito, and Nagato have all fought against the Masked Man. There is a rough guess about the upper limit of his strength. Therefore, in their opinion, with Nagato's help, capturing the Masked Man alive is a sure thing. Only, awkwardly, the two have met Nagato, but just before the last Kagami birthday party was about to end, Nagato, Konan, and Yahiko disguised themselves as transformation technique and quietly came to Konoha to visit their grandfather for a while. They have met each other once, but they are not familiar with each other. Shisui, what shall we call Nagato then? He and the teacher are both Uncle Mirror's disciples, and I seem to be a generation younger, but he is a few years older than us, so he can't be called master, right? Obito was very confused. Road. According to what you say, I am the grandson of my grandfather. Both Fourth Hokage and Nagato are one generation older than me. I must also be called Uncle Nagato? Shisui scratched his head and replied, I think we should call him Brother Nagato. My grandfather said that there is no need to pay too much attention to seniority. I heard my grandfather said, he is a good brother who is cold on the outside and hot on the inside. He will not embarrass us. That makes sense, let's call him Brother Nagato. Obito nodded. Then shall we set off now? Let's go, Obito nodded. The two of them packed lightly and were preparing to leave Konoha village. But as soon as he reached the gate, he saw an unhappy Kakashi walking towards him, with his father Hitaki Tsukumo next to him. Shisui and Obito greeted politely, Uncle Tsukumo, Kakashi. Hey, you two want to go out and play? Hitaki Tsukumo smiled and patted his son's shoulder with a smile. Bringing Kakashi with you? You three haven't had a picnic together for a long time. As an elder, I won't participate, ha ha ha. I don't want it. Kakashi glanced at Obito. She turned her head away arrogantly, as if she was still sulking with him. Shisui explained straightforwardly. Sorry, Uncle Tsukumo. Grandpa has given us a very important task. Let's get together with Kakashi next time. A mission? Oh, I won't delay you any longer. You can go ahead. Tsukumo didn't force it. HMPH. I don't care about that. Kakashi curled his lips. Can you say that again? Can you be a little polite? Kakashi, you're becoming more and more rude now. Isn't it normal for friends to have misunderstandings? Didn't Obito apologize to you? You were really immature? Boom. Tsukumo slapped him on the head, reprimanding his son as a father. I got it. Kakashi felt aggrieved. Although he was perfunctory with his mouth, he was still unhappy in his heart. Where am I immature? Is Obito the mature one? Hum. Wait, sooner or later I will surpass you. Obito seemed to see through Kakashi's psychology, and couldn't help but kindly persuade him. Kakashi, you are a genius. But you have to correct yourself to surpass yourself. Don't worry about your father and Uncle Jing anymore. I know, do you want you to teach me? Kakashi rolled his eyes. Obito shook his head helplessly. Without further ado, he left with Shisui. He has long seen that Kakashi is too impetuous now and is no longer the calm young genius he once was. But as friends, he can only persuade with words. Whether he changes or not is his own problem. Walking to a jungle somewhere after confirming that no one was around. Advertisement. Obito's Sharingan focused and the space suddenly rotated. Tisk. The two soon arrived at Rain Shinobi village. As the leader of Rain Shinobi village, Yahiko personally welcomed them, and together they came to the tower of Rain Shinobi village, where they also met Nagato and Konan. When Shisui saw Konan and Nagato, he greeted them politely. Brother Nagato, sister Konan. Hey, sit down quickly, it's all my family, so don't be polite. Yahiko, Nagato, you two idiots, why don't you bring out all the snacks and drinks to entertain your brothers? You really have no sense at all. Konan was very happy to be called sister by these two calls. But seeing Nagato and Yahiko stunned, he couldn't help but lose his temper. No, I'm fine. Shisui coughed a few times. The mission is important. Let me tell you briefly about this mission. My grandfather asked me, Obito and Brother Nagato, to capture the Masked Man alive and bring him back to Konoha and hand him over to my grandfather. We know, the teacher also said it in advance. Nagato said solemnly. We at Akatsuki have now grasped his location. He is on an uninhabited island around Kirigakure. There happens to be no one else there. Now is the time to take action. Okay, let's go, careful, Yahiko wants to go too. But he knew very well that he was not strong enough. After only a few words of advice, the three of them left. Kirigakure. On overseas islands, the masked man and Black Zetsu were discussing something. Sanagakure has already taken care of it. I didn't use Sharingan to control Luosha. On the one hand, Luosha knows very well that he was supported by us. We can ruin his reputation at any time. The masked man said in a low voice. On the other hand, I killed all the senior executives of Sanagakure and replaced them all with White Zetsu. You can report to me at any time. Luosha is a smart person, and will not seek death. Yeah, that's okay, Black Zetsu nodded. Actually, the reason why Luosha is not controlled, in fact, it's also because Sanagakure is too weak. The faces of the masked man and Black Zetsu suddenly change. The masked man's expression was gloomy. All three of you are actually out, the owners of Rinnegan and 2 pairs of Mangekyō, haha. You really think highly of me. That guy Uchiha Kagami finally started to take me seriously? Is he going to be cruel to me? Suddenly, no, you are not so lucky. Nagato showed a confident smile. No, we will not kill you, we will capture you alive, and bring you back to Konoha. Shisui, Obito, and Nagato appear. This moment, Black Zetsu asked. Where's the scorpion? Have you found it? Not finished yet. The space suddenly started to flow. I'm curious waiting for you to meet the teacher. As the bottom of the 5 great ninja villages, the masked man could kill Rasa at any time and destroy the entire Sanagakure. Rasa finally got rid of his identity as a traitorous ninja and replaced Scorpion as the 4th Kazekage. Naturally, he would not ask for trouble. Haha, but I want to tell you, even if the 3 of you join forces, you may be able to kill me, but you will still have to pay a heavy price. The moment your identity is revealed, will you regret going against us? Shisui and Obito's Sharingan have already turned into 3 Magatama, Nagato's Rinnegan is staring at each other, and Chakra is ready to move. I'm already looking for him, he won't be so lucky next time. The combination of 3 people is full of oppression. Although Shie is not important, he is the only one who knows our inside story after all. If he is found, it would be better to eliminate the root cause. Chapter 148 Fire Style Explosive Wind Dance. Isn't this cool operation too genius? Advertisement, regret? Haha, I will never regret it. The masked man sneered. Facing the 3 of them, he showed no fear at all. While forming seals with his hands, large swaths of flames spit out. Fire Style How Fire Dragon Technique, hooray! Hurrah! The flames turned into 3 fire dragons. The momentum was astonishing, and it surged towards the 3 of them. Obito chuckled lightly, and while forming the seal, he activated the Kamui in his right eye. Fire Style Explosive Wind Dance, a sound of Chua 1. The space suddenly became distorted. The flames spurted out were also accompanied by twisting vortices, forming a huge rotating flame. While flames collide, Shisui was not idle either. He used the teleportation technique to sneak around behind him, pulled out the blade from behind, and slashed towards the masked man's neck. Clang! The masked man resisted with a kunai, but the next second, his body started to move involuntarily. A sting! Just hearing a low shout from Nagato, universal pull was activated. The masked man's body was pulled in his direction uncontrollably, and the Sharingan in the masked man's right eye suddenly focused. God kill! The surrounding space suddenly became distorted. Although the area is not large, it offsets more than half of the gravitational force. However, the masked man's body has just regained its freedom. Shisui and Obito attacked from behind, and Obito raised his hand and threw out the branch. Wood-style cutting technique. Damn, the masked man's pupils tightened. He barely reacted and avoided this fatal blow. But Shisui's attack could not be avoided. His abdomen was cut open, and a stream of blood seeped out. But, because of Hashirama cells, the masked man's injuries recovered in the blink of an eye, but his face became increasingly ugly and his heart became more solemn. They cooperate very well. Just testing, it hurt me, it seems I can't hide my clumsiness anymore. Susanoo. The masked man understood. No more nonsense, Chakra is mobilized. A white half-body Susanoo appeared, covered in Karasatengu armor, her scarlet eyes scanned the entire scene, and her long sword set off an astonishing airwave. But, Shisui is also not to be outdone. The Scarlet 3 Tomo Sharingan rotated and turned into a 4-cornered Mangekyō. I'm coming too. Shisui shouted lowly. The green half-body Susanoo rises up. The Wu Tengu was covered in armor, and with a wave of the spiral sword in his hand, it set off an astonishing wave of air and struck it. Boom! Boom! The ground was shaking and the earth was shattering. The sparse vegetation and forests on this small island were all razed to the ground. The masked man did not dare to hide his clumsiness at all. The moment he activated the time and space ninjutsu, the god-killing sword in his right hand suddenly fell down. God-kill sword slash. Shisui, avoid it, this blow is very strong. Obito's expression changed. Don't be afraid, look at me, Super Shinra Tenjung. Nagato looked solemn, suddenly lifted into the air. Rinnegan's eye power was unleashed. Accompanied by the extremely huge repulsive force, the space seemed to be constantly trembling and twisting when it came into contact with the opponent's god-killing sword. Advertisement but, Nagato is very strong. With the vitality blessing of Hashirama cells, he did not need to worry about chakra loss at all. This blow mobilized almost half of the chakra. One can imagine the power of this Super Shinra Tianjung. Just listen, bang, white Susanoo kept retreating. Most of Karasu Tengu's armor was destroyed, but Susanoo is Susanoo after all, and the masked man still barely maintained his second form. Obito. Now, okay, Kamui. Obito's left eye suddenly focused. A long distance away, the space suddenly became distorted. Tisk. Tisk, white Susanoo has a big hole in her head. The masked man's body was completely revealed, which was completely beyond his expectation. What? Obito. You actually gathered 2 Mangekyō, damn it, my Susanoo was broken. The masked man looked panicked. Then I saw Shisui coming in front of me with a very fast teleportation technique. Because he wanted to capture the opponent alive, Shisui did not use a highly lethal technique, but directly planned to use distinguished heavenly gods to tamper with his will. Some other day, don't even think about it. However, before Shisui could cast distinguished heavenly gods, the masked man's right eye suddenly focused, and the space quickly distorted. A shocking thing happened. A tailed beast bomb actually flew out with the release of space and went straight to Shisui's face. Tailed beast bomb? Where did it come from? Shisui. Quick, get out of the way. No, use Susanoo. Obito and Nagato's expressions change. They were not defenseless, but no one expected that the other party would actually release a tailed beast bomb? How the hell is this done? And Nagato had just used Super Shinra Tensei and was far away from Shisui. And Obito maintained Kamui, and there was no time to support him, just when they all thought Shisui was in danger. At the critical moment, Shisui shouted angrily, and chakra rose into the sky. The green Susanoo quickly covered, but the opponent's attack was also very fast. Shisui only maintained the first form of Susanoo. Boom. Click. Tailed beast bomb hits Shisui. Just the first form of Susanoo was broken. It was about to explode, but luckily Shisui held on for a second, allowing Nagato to come to support. Hungry Kido sealing Jutsu seal. Nagato raised his hand and clasped it on the tailed beast bomb. The chakra continues to be absorbed, and the tailed beast bomb is completely consumed. But the faces of the 3 people were very ugly. In their opinion, capturing the masked man alive was not simple enough, but they didn't expect that this man actually had a backup plan. To be honest, even Obito didn't expect it to be like this. Now there's 8 tails, can this still happen? Nagato's eyes flashed and he took a deep breath and said, we have to consider killing him. It's too difficult to capture him alive. We can't hold back any longer. I think the same goes for handing the body to the teacher. But it's obvious that he borrowed 8 tails at the right time, otherwise Shisui's move just now might have put him in danger. Nagato said in a low voice, the tailed beast bomb chakra just now is amazing. It seems to have the properties of ink, but I don't know. How did the masked man do it? The 3 men confronted the masked man. Shisui was stunned. Although it only lasts a few days, isn't this cool operation too genius? There was no temptation at all, but Nagato had already discovered a problem. It's not that difficult to capture him alive. The 2 sides fought for only a few rounds. Obito thought for a moment and said solemnly, it should be 8 tails. The masked man should have the same alien space as me. He controlled 8 tails with Mangekyō, and then released the tailed beast bomb from his eyes through the time and space ninjutsu. The masked man himself is very powerful, not to mention the blessing of Hashirama cell time and space ninjutsu. The masked man was also very lucky. Although he returned 8 tails to Cloud Shinobi village before, he borrowed it again for safety reasons. The tailed beast bomb just now was completely unexpected. Chapter 149 The masked man who was seriously injured and on the verge of death, the miserable black Zetsu. Advertisement, good. Then kill him. Shisui and Obito nodded. His eyes burst out with strong murderous intent. The masked man also noticed this, and his right eye Mangekyō suddenly rotated. Tisk. Whoosh, space is distorted. A tailed beast bomb flew over again. Nagato was about to absorb it, but Obito raised his hand and pressed it to the ground. Look at my Uchiha fire formation, his 5 fingers glowed red. I saw crimson flames filling the air, turning into a barrier in the blink of an eye. Not only did they block the tailed beast bomb, but they also included the masked man. It was obvious that they were getting serious. Obito, what you can do, I can do it too. The masked man looked sarcastic. This Uchiha fire formation is not that easy to break, but with my ability of time and space ninjutsu, I can leave here at any time. It is completely useless for you to do this. But you are much slower than me in trying to transfer yourself. As long as you have the idea of leaving, we will give you a fatal blow. Obito smiled. The masked man's face darkened, although his god kill is very similar to Kamui. But there is an essential difference. Obito twists and pulls itself into a different space, and then jumps out from somewhere else. And Obito, who has 2 eyes, can jump faster in time and space ninjutsu. But he is different. It is a distorted space formed around the body. Then step in, take him all in, and disappear again. With one more step, there is an extra degree of danger. From this, it seems that the other party has completely figured out his time and space ninjutsu. But the masked man didn't panic, and sarcastically said, are you planning to kill me? Didn't you just vow to kill me? Now it seems. They're just people with empty reputations? Kamui, Obito was too lazy to talk nonsense with him. Left eye Mangekyō rotates and Kamui activates again. 100 meters away, the masked man felt a strange movement in his neck, but fortunately, he also launched the divine killing when he raised his hand. Tisk. Space reverses. The forces of both sides cancelled out, and he was about to take action. But his face stiffened. At some point, something wrapped around his body, completely imprisoning him. What? You're just looking at the front, not the back, right? Nagato smiled proudly. I saw an invisible chameleon appearing behind the enemy. Of course, the chameleon cannot escape Sharingan's detection. After all, Sharingan can see the chakra flowing, but the masked man's focus has always been on the three of them. Therefore, not noticed at all. Ambush the invisible chameleon behind you in advance. The masked man was about to use Susanoo to chop off the chameleon's tongue, but Nagato raised his hand and threw out a black iron rod. Poof! The black pipe pierced his shoulder. Under the interference of Nagato Rinnegan, chakra instantly fell into chaos. Die. Fire-style dragon fire technique, Obito is ready to go. Opening his mouth, a large fire spread out. It enveloped the masked man and he kept screaming violently. Oh! Advertisement. No, I haven't lost yet. He struggled for a while. The whole person turned into charcoal and seemed to be completely silent. Obito and the others were about to step forward to investigate when they saw a dark-looking guy that looked like a pitcher plant emerging from the ground. And, he grabbed the masked man and burrowed into the ground, running for his life like crazy. Broken. Quick. Stop him. Nagato's expression changed. Shisui and Nagato were about to take action, but he found that the other party completely covered his aura and disappeared. I can't feel it at all. Nagato's face darkened. Is this the mayfly technique that the teacher said? It can move at high speed through vegetation on the ground or underground, and when the ninjutsu is activated, it can isolate its own breath. It's over, this mission was messed up. Obito was very regretful. Could he be dead? Nagato asked. It's hard to say. The masked man also has Hashirama cells. It's best not to treat him as dead, but if he's dead, that's fine. If he's not dead. Shisui was very ashamed. Then we are really embarrassed. We had promised my grandfather that the three of us would definitely capture him alive, but in the end, no one was brought back. What should we do now? I do not know. Obito said he was confused. Shisui looked at Nagato with him. As the eldest brother, Nagato coughed a few times and said helplessly, it's all the fault of Black Zetsu. If it weren't for Black Zetsu, we would have succeeded long ago. It doesn't matter, just tell the truth. The teacher won't blame you. We know, it's just a bit embarrassing. Obito suddenly thought of something and sighed. If Kakashi finds out, that guy will inevitably tease me, hey. Let's go back and report first. Good, no matter what. At least the masked man was only seriously injured and on the verge of death. There will definitely be no way to become a monster in a short period of time. The ninja world will be peaceful for a while, which is considered good. And the other side, on the overseas island of Kirigakure. Black Zetsu confirmed that no one was there before taking the masked man back to the island. At this moment, the masked man's whole body was charred, and no part of his skin was intact. But fortunately, the masked man had transplanted Hashirama cells, and Black Zetsu had just given him a life extension, so he was not dead for the time being. Yes, it's temporary, but it could also lead to death. Although the fire style's power was actually average, he still had a chance to survive. However, since the Hashirama cells transplanted by the masked man were not enough, unlike Obito who had half of his body sutured, he was completely immune to the side effects of Mangekyō. Plus he used Mangekyō too many times. Both life and spirit have been severely taxed. This time, they are almost exhausted, and they are only one step away from death. And he Black Zetsu, he doesn't know any medical ninjutsu either. Even if he uses yin-yang escape spiritual possession to renew his life, he won't be able to hold on for long. Unless, he could find a scientist like Orochimaru. It can inject more abundant Hashirama cells without side effects, peel off the burnt skin all over his body, and activate his body with life nutrient solution. Otherwise, this kid will definitely die, but the problem is, let alone Orochimaru, there seem to be few decent scientists in the ninja world now. Isn't this a complete failure? Slip away, run away. Black Zetsu felt sad in his heart. Uchiha Madara hasn't been resurrected yet, and the executor of Project Tsuki no Mi is about to die. I have been struggling for so many years and now I am about to fall short. What a sad fate this is. Mother, I really want to cry. Woo-woo, Chapter 150 Nagato. Teacher, I just turned 18 this year. Advertisement Konoha Village. Uchiha Tribe Land. Shisui, Nagato, and Obito looked ashamed. Looking at the expressions of these three people, Uchiha Kagami roughly guessed the result. Mission failed. Yes, I'm sorry, grandfather. It's my fault. Shisui lowered his head. No, it's my fault. Obito said, it is not my fault. As the eldest brother, Nagato took on the responsibility. Teacher, we seriously underestimated the strength of the masked man. We did not expect that he would actually hide 8 tails in a different space and release the tailed beast bomb through his eyes. But we understood immediately that we had to be determined to kill him. We were about to succeed. The masked man was burned to charcoal by Obito's fire style, but was taken away by Black Zetsu who was hiding in the dark. Oh, 8 tails is hidden in another space. Uchiha Kagami commented with interest. He is a thoughtful person, so do you think the masked man is dead? Well, I estimate that the probability of his death is very high, Obito said. Even if he manages to survive, Grandpa, I think he is on the verge of death and will never appear again in a short time. Shisui replied. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's all go and rest. Nagato will stay. Yes, Grandpa, Uncle Jing, Shisui and Obito left. Uchiha Kagami doesn't blame them. Originally, his desire to capture the masked man alive was just a whim. Shisui, Nagato, and Obito are all still young, and Nagato is just a young man. Nagato and planetary devastation techniques have not yet been understood. As for Obito and Shisui, these two are several years younger than Nagato. Mangekyō Sharingan had just awakened not long ago, so it was normal for him not to be able to capture the masked man alive, so he didn't care much. But, the masked man is not only despicable and sinister. Moreover, he had rich combat experience. He suspected that this person's real age should be quite high, at least he was a member of the Uchiha tribe of the same generation as himself. As for the old man, that's unlikely. The older you are and the less spiritual you are, the more difficult it is to awaken Mangekyō. But there are only a few clan members of his own age, such as Uchiha Yashira, Uchiha Taiyuki, and Uchiha Terrier. Needless to say more about the former, he was almost killed by Danzo, how could he be the masked man? Not to mention that Yashira, as the captain of the Root organization, has always been under his nose, the possibility is almost zero. As for Uchiha Taiyuki, Uchiha Mime, although these two people are from the Uchiha clan, Sharingan has not awakened, they're just ordinary clan members serving breakfast. And then there's Fugaku. Fugaku is 6 years younger than me, which makes it even more impossible. When Obito and the others took action, Uchiha Kagami also went to Fugaku's house and confirmed that Fugaku was still taking care of the pregnant Mikoto. So who could this person be? Advertisement. Seeing that the teacher was deep in thought, Nagato said cautiously, "Do you have any guesses?" "No clue." Jing shook his head. "Don't worry too much. Even if the masked man can't die, he won't cause trouble in a short time. Sooner or later, the ninja world will be peaceful." Nagato comforted. "I know, that's not what I'm worried about." Uchiha Kagami looked at him, suddenly smiled and teased. "But aren't you unwilling to come to Konoha? Last time I came to my birthday party. But you don't mind this time? I thought you wouldn't come with Shisui and the others are back together." "Teacher treats me well. I missed so many birthday parties, but I always come to see you," Nagato said with shame. "What old man? I won't be 40 until my birthday next year. Okay, I'm still young." Jing rolled her eyes at him. "Yes, you are young." Nagato didn't object. "It turns out that I am almost 40, even if I don't look at the mirror for so many years." His appearance is still the same as when he was young, as if he will never grow old. Of course, this is partly due to Hashirama cells. On the one hand, Jing has now learned the magic of immortality and is getting closer to nature. As his research continues to deepen, he is absorbing natural energy all the time and maintaining a perfect balance. Although it will not rejuvenate the body, it can allow natural energy to fill the cells at all times. Makes cells active permanently, so the appearance does not age. "Teacher, what do you want me to do?" Nagato wondered. "Nothing, I just wanted to ask, do you have anyone you like?" Jing asked curiously. "Oh, you? Nagato suddenly stuttered. "Why do you ask this suddenly? It's too sudden, isn't it?" "I'm not doing anything, I'm just caring about your personal feelings." "Is senior brother Minato so powerful? This kid Minato fell in love with me, so he kept praising the girl for her beautiful hair. He also said that such red hair would make him feel very happy. This kid won Kushina before he was an adult. What about you?" Uchiha Kagami said with hatred. "Do you know how much fun that kid Minato had when he was young? His methods of flirting with girls. Even I feel ashamed. Kushina was not accepted at school because of her red hair. See you soon." Nagato blushed and murmured in a low voice. "Oh, teacher, don't worry so much. Brother Minato is 6 years older than me. Is it abnormal for him to have a child now? I have just turned 18 this year, so it's too early to say this. Your kid is 18 years old. I don't want you to get married as soon as possible. Why don't you find someone to fall in love with? I won't force you, it's just. I fell in love with Kushina and kept doing it, and now I can be considered a success. Especially since brother Minato has fallen in love with her at such a young age, but fortunately, although this boy is good at flirting with girls, he is not a scumbag who flirts with women." Uchiha Kagami showed a sad look. "Your teacher, I am getting older. I really want to see you happy. It would be best if I could hug your children. As a teacher, I will have no regrets even if I die." To be honest, this was the first time he heard these 8 trigrams. Nagato complained. "Teacher, you just said you were young." Nagato was stunned. "But, look at you, you're 18 years old and you don't even have anyone you like. That's not okay." "Awesome. That's not it," Uchiha Kagami said earnestly. "Look at Minato, you two are brothers. His son is about to be born now, but you don't even have someone you like. This is not okay. How about I find one for you?" "Is this still early? You are already 18, chapter 151. Uchiha, you will be Uchiha Nagato from now on." Advertisement. I'm talking about mentality, but your teacher, Uchiha Kagami was not joking, looked up at the sky and sighed. "Both you and Nagato know what I am worried about. For me now, no matter it is Uchiha Madara or any other crisis, it cannot compare to the one in the sky. I know very well how powerful they are, and as a teacher, I will grow old sooner or later, and accidents will always happen. As my students, there is no teacher who doesn't want students to be better than their masters. But this road is destined to be accompanied by blood and sacrifice, but before your teacher and I sacrifice, I hope to see you, Konan, and Yahiko all live a happy life, then I can rest in peace." "Teacher, please. Stop talking." Nagato looked at the teacher. His eyes seemed to turn red for a moment, As a person who is cold on the outside and hot on the inside, he is actually more emotionally delicate. He also cares about the people around him more than anyone else. He knows very well that the teacher seems to not care about the affairs of the ninja world, but in fact he works harder than anyone else. I have been studying silently to make myself stronger. But them as students, no one understands the principle that once a teacher is always a father. They hope more than anyone else that as sons, they can replace their fathers and resist pressure from outside. So that the old father can truly retire. Uchiha Kagami rubbed his red hair and said softly, Nagato. Regardless of whether you have these Rinegons or not, whether you are the savior of this world or not. You are my student, and I know that emotional matters cannot force it. But it doesn't matter if we are in the same place, right? If you don't like it, forget it, or you actually have someone you like in your heart? For example, Conan? No, I regard Conan as my relative. Nagato shook his head, and finally compromised. I don't know who Conan likes, but Yahiko told me privately that he likes Conan, teacher. Who are you going to introduce to me? I can try to get along. Great, let me show it to you. Uchiha Kagami took out a booklet. On the cover of the booklet, there are 6 big characters written, apprentice wife candidate. Seeing this, Nagato suddenly felt confused and didn't know whether to vomit or not. Was he prepared for this? Since you don't like it, Conan, I'll cross it out. There are a few members of the Uchiha clan who are about the same age as you. Uchiha Ome and Uchiha. One is more beautiful than the other. They're twins. They're the children of Mikoto's relatives. They have a quiet temperament. I still have photos here, take a look first. Uchiha Kagami is excited. Scroll through it and pull out 2 photos. Nagato took it and looked at it. He was indeed very good looking, with big eyes and long flowing hair, giving him a quiet temperament. She does look good, but Nagato struggled. But the sisters look the same, how can I tell them apart? Why do you have to tell the difference? How exciting are twins? It's like drawing a blind box in the middle of the night. Otherwise, you just give it up, Jing joked. What? Received everything? Don't be joking. Nagato felt excited. But I felt that this idea was unreliable and rejected the teacher's kindness. Uchiha Kagami said suspiciously. Are you sure you don't want to? With my current status, no one in the clan has any objections, and it doesn't matter if I have 2 wives. You are the son of prophecy, Nagato, don't regret it in the future. Advertisement, I don't regret it. Thank you for your kindness, teacher. Let's change it to someone else. Not twins, not ordinary people. It's best to be a ninja, so that we can have a common topic. Nagato thought for a while and said. Okay, then these twins have to be crossed out, and they have to be ninjas. You guys are really good at choosing. As for ninjas, the Hyuga clan, right? Uchiha Kagami found another candidate. This child's name is Hyuga Rain. She is a child of the Hyuga clan. Although she is not the daughter of the clan leader, she is a ninja. She is currently 21 years old, 3 years older than you. 3 years older? Isn't that a bit? Nagato struggled. What's wrong? You dislike someone's age. You're still young, don't you know that a female junior holds a gold brick? Age hurts people. She's still a girl from the Hyuga clan. Do you think the Hyuga family is willing? Jing Wuyu rode. Then how did you explain it? Nagato was curious. Ao from Kirigakure was captured alive by Shisui and Obito before. The Byakugan on this person was left behind by the Hyuga clan. I specially came to send him back. The Heishi clan leader agreed to thank me, Mira replied. I see, Nagato struggled. Actually, what I'm struggling with is not this, but what if I marry a girl from the Hyuga clan? Wouldn't that mean I become a wife? From now on, I have to be called Hyuga Nagato. It feels very awkward. No need. Aren't you from the Whirlpool clan? You are originally from a big clan. Even though the Whirlpool clan is now in decline. But you won't be married into a wife. There is no need to change your surname, James said with a smile. But, teacher. Nagato sighed. My parents and I originally came out of the Uzumaki clan. My father is a doctor. My mother has always followed my father in providing medical assistance, and she also saved many people on the battlefield in Rain Shinobi village. But, that day when Konoha's ninjas broke in, my parents. Let's not talk about this. In short, we no longer have the name of the Uzumaki clan. Otherwise, why don't I be called Uzumaki Nagato? Uchiha Kagami suddenly understood. No wonder Nagato is called Nagato. It turns out that this family has long since separated from the Uzumaki clan. And settled down on the territory of Rain Shinobi village. His father was a doctor, but he didn't expect to save so many people, but he eventually died at the hands of ninjas. I'm sorry. Nagato. Kagami Complex said, it doesn't matter, teacher. The people of Konoha are the people of Konoha, you are you. Yahiko has always made me distinguish this, and I know very well. Although the hatred in the past is still there, you and Konoha cannot be generalized, Nagato said relieved. Then this is indeed considered a marriage, and other wealthy families can't do it. The mirror became tangled again. Nagato's red hair represents the bloodline of the Uzumaki clan. But his parents had long since separated from the family, which was considered to have been eliminated from the family tree. Therefore, even if they had blood, they could not be recognized, not to mention that the Uzumaki clan had long since declined. And the Hyuga clan. He is also a person who attaches great importance to family honor. If Nagato marries a woman from the Hyuga clan, he will definitely take the Hyuga clan name, just like Haruno Sakura marries Sasuke, and changes her name to Uchiha Sakura. Little Sakura belongs to the Uchiha clan without blood. And the Uchiha clan, Even now, there are many ordinary people. Both men and women are married in, replacing their previous surnames. Etc. What if you marry a twin from the Uchiha clan? Wouldn't it mean that Nagato will marry into the family in the future, and his name will be Uchiha Nagato? There is nothing wrong with getting married to each other, right? Nagato wondered. Teacher, what did you think of? Uchiha Kagami said enthusiastically. How about marrying Mei and Mei? How wonderful are twins. From now on, you will be Uchiha Nagato, and my Uchiha Kagami disciple. From now on, I have the name of Uchiha. Isn't he more awesome than their Hyuga? Chapter 152 Qualified Married Man Fugaku, Sasuke is about to be born? Advertisement, Uchiha Nagato. Nagato was confused. But I was very touched and excited. Why? Because in his opinion, he actually cares about marrying into the Hyuga clan because he has no contact with the Hyuga clan, which makes him very uncomfortable. I am also worried that after getting married, I will be bullied by the Hyuga family. But the Uchiha clan is different. That is the teacher's family, and the teacher is still the patriarch. What's more, he has already regarded Kagami as his father, so he happily accepts the title prefixed with Uchiha, or in other words, he is more willing to become the teacher's relative. It doesn't matter whether you marry or not. Uchiha Kagami said gently. If you don't like the surname Uchiha, then you can keep your own surname. Your teacher, I will say it in the clan now. No one dares to raise objections, how about it? Teacher. That's not necessary, I'm happy to marry you. Nagato felt warm in his heart, coughed a few times and said, I am also confident that I will not disgrace the name of the Uchiha clan, but marrying two wives at once, doesn't this go against the wedding tradition? That's all you care about, does that mean you actually like twins? Jing said with a half smile. Ahem. No, I just like the feeling of drawing blind boxes, Nagato said shyly. Good boy. You do have my style, but marrying twins does go against the traditional wedding. After all, everyone is monogamous. But this matter will be solved for you sooner or later, so you don't have to worry so much. Uchiha Kagami blinked and said, how about trying it out in the same place first? I'll say hello to Makoto later, and you can go to their house in the afternoon to invite them out and have a romantic candlelight dinner? This afternoon? Nagato's heart beat a beat slower. No, teacher. You forgot that I am still the leader of the Akatsuki organization in Rain Shinobi Village. Now the ninja world doesn't know about our relationship, so we can't appear in Konoha village on the surface. And asking out two of them at once, isn't it not good? What if they don't like me? Wouldn't it be over? Do it one by one. Oh, I was so happy that I forgot. Uchiha Kagami scratched his head and thought of a brilliant idea. Then let's make an appointment at my house. I will keep it strictly confidential. No one dares to come in casually. I will go to Fugaku's house now. Once you get it right, they will definitely like you. Ah, teacher. Wait. Nagato panicked. Date at the teacher's house? Isn't this a bit too arrogant? But before he could stop him, Jingzi left with a flying thunder god. Soon, he arrived outside Fugaku's door. Tuck tuck. Tuck tuck tuck. Uchiha Kagami knocked on the door. The door opened, revealing Itachi's young and surprised face. Uncle Jing. Why are you here? Let me check with Fugaku and Makoto. How is Makoto doing now? How long will it take for your brother to be born? Kagami went straight to the topic. It's probably just for the next few days. Uncle Jing, please come in. The young Itachi was very polite. The clan leader was welcomed in with an apology on his face. I'm sorry, Uncle Jing. My mother is approaching a critical day and he is too busy to greet you. It's okay, I'll be happier if you greet me, Jing said with a smile. Really? Of course, you forgot the birthday gift I gave you? Can that big snake be summoned? Advertisement, not yet, I'm too young and don't have enough chakra. Itachi said with a smile, but my father summoned me once. I rode on Zinya's head and walked around the woods. It was so fast. When Sasuke is born, I will take him to ride the snake together. Hee. Thank you Jing, a gift from uncle. You're welcome, let's go in and see what your father is up to. Okay. The two walked across the courtyard. When I pushed the door open, I saw a funny scene. Uchiha Makoto was lying on the sofa in the living room, and Fugaku was washing his wife's feet with a basin. He turned around and saw the scene in the mirror. His old face suddenly turned red, and he started to stammer. Clan leader, I am drinking some water. It's not what you think. I am the deputy clan leader. How can I do these jobs? Drink some water? Use a basin to catch it? Jing teased. I'm thirsty, so I like to drink from a big basin of water. Oh, drink it then. Fugaku was embarrassed. Looking at the original foot washing water in the basin. I was caught in a dilemma between drink and not drink for a while. After all, as the deputy patriarch, he still wanted to save face, but when he noticed the increasingly unbearable smile on Jing's face. The deputy patriarch was completely ruined. Fugaku put the basin down, wiped his hands and came over. Ahem, I was joking just now. I just washed the feet of my pregnant wife. This is what a qualified married man should do. There is no shame, patriarch. Just call me by my name in private. You are already 33, so don't worry about the etiquette. Jing waved his hand. That's what I say, but you are 6 years older than me, so I call you big brother. Fugaku was still very stubborn and said, otherwise, Itachi will not be a good father if he sees his father disrespecting the clan leader. It's up to you. How about Makoto? Fugaku didn't bully you, did he? Uchiha Kagami turned to look. Makoto, with his big belly, smiled gently. It's good, Fugaku has been taking care of me. Not only washing my feet and face, but also rubbing my shoulders from time to time. Okay, I still want to show off, Fugaku blushed. Aren't you happy to praise you? Makoto was speechless. Fugaku said seriously. Of course I am happy, but when Brother Jing comes over, there must be important matters to discuss. How can you be bothered by such trivial matters? Right? Why don't you come to my study and discuss it in detail? No need, it's just what I said before. Uchiha Kagami got straight to the point. Nagato is at my house now. Dami and Xiaomei hope that Fugaku can form their families. It's best to contact them at my house. The children are very shy and we need to be more diligent as elders. Are both Dame and Xiaomei going? Fugaku was stunned for a moment. Let's all go. The two children, Dame and Xiaomei, are quiet and have heard some of Nagato's deeds. Let them get in touch with each other on their own. They're all young people. 3 people can chat easily, but 2 people are embarrassed. Mirror Road. That's the truth. Fugaku nodded. Just as he was about to go out, he heard Makoto exclaim. Then, wow, the amniotic fluid couldn't stop flowing out. Fugaku and Kagami were stunned for a second. The former was immediately worried and was about to leave with Makoto in his arms. Sasuke is about to be born? Hurry. Send him to the medical department quickly. There are ninjas responsible for delivering babies over there? Don't hug me like this, it's too rude and it's risky. Uchiha Kagami made a decision immediately. My speed is fast enough. I directly use the Flying Thunder God connection to bring all the equipment and people here. You guys are watching Makoto here. Don't let anyone get close, wait until I come back. Chapter 153 Uchiha Kagami. Correction, these are not rumors. Advertisement, okay, thank you. Fugaku also knew that now was not the time to be polite. And Uchiha Kagami's 2 consecutive Flying Thunder Gods brought over the staff of the medical department, and there were more than one. Quick, deliver Makoto. Kage-sama and Fugaku-sama please step aside. Okay. Mirror and Fugaku nodded. Uchiha Kagami pulled Itachi and Fugaku and left the room. Fugaku's face was full of worry and anxiety, and he was pacing back and forth in the courtyard, rubbing his palms left and right. It must be safe. Don't worry, Makoto will be fine. Uchiha Kagami consoled her. These are the elites of the medical department. Sasuke and his mother will definitely be safe. Okay, I know. Fugaku nodded heavily, but the anxiety on his face still didn't diminish much. Seeing his father so anxious, Itachi had a slightly sad look on his young face, and looked at Uncle Jing with some confusion. Uncle Jing, why is giving birth to a child life-threatening? How should I put it? In fact, I only have a little knowledge. Many pregnant women have different physiques. Some pregnant women have weak constitutions and are prone to heavy bleeding, uterine rupture, etc. Uchiha Kagami explained. There will also be some complications, and life may be in danger if you are not careful, but fortunately our medical ninjutsu can heal damaged cells, so the risk is not too great. Uncle Jing, you are so amazing, you know how to give birth to a child, Itachi said with admiration. This is what Tsunade mentioned to me. By the way, I can go to Tsunade. With Tsunade's top medical ninjutsu, he can definitely help. Uchiha Kagami's eyes twinkled. Forming a seal with one hand, another Flying Thunder God left. A few seconds later, reappeared in the courtyard. Tsunade looked confused, not sure what happened, but under Jing's explanation. Tsunade understood that it was Makoto who was giving birth, so he entered the door and worked together with the medical ninjas to help deliver the baby. This should be foolproof, right? Uchiha Kagami thought to himself. In fact, he was a little panicked, mainly because the plot had changed. He didn't know if Sasuke was originally born today. It would be really troublesome if something went wrong, so he had to take appropriate measures to ensure it. With Tsunade's help, Sasuke should be able to be born smoothly, right? A few hours later, accompanied by Cry, Tsunade pushed the door open and came out with the baby in his arms, wiping the sweat from his forehead. Mother and son are safe. Thank you so much, thank you Patriarch, thank you. Fugaku was so excited, he walked over and took the child. But the child started crying with a cry. Jing tried to hug him and started crying hard. Can you cry so much? This kid is so energetic. Fugaku was actually very happy. Let me hug my brother, father, Itachi said suddenly. Okay, come and hug me. Fugaku smiled and handed it to him. But something unexpected happened. Anyone who hugged Sasuke cried hard, but Itachi held him. Sasuke stopped crying, and a smile appeared on his wrinkled face. Advertisement Fugaku. Uchiha Kagami. Fugaku always thought that babies tend to cry more. Now it seemed that he simply didn't like him, but when he thought that Sasuke didn't even like the clan leader, he felt a little more balanced mentally. What's your expression? I'm not Sasuke's father, Uchiha Kagami said speechlessly. Right, Fugaku said indifferently, but it doesn't matter. There is nothing wrong with Sasuke and Itachi being close. We can let Itachi take care of the children in the future, and it will also make Makoto and I feel at ease. That's true. This child has a delicate mind and will definitely have no problem raising children, Jing agreed. Sasuke is so cute, he deserves to be my brother. Uchiha Itachi stretched out his finger. The baby Sasuke actually held Itachi's finger with his little hand, not to mention how happy he was on his small face. Ha ha ha. Sasuke holds my hand. Uchiha Itachi's eyes showed a touch of warmth. My brother, your brother, I will always protect you. You will grow up safe, healthy and happy. Sasuke. Ying ying ying, look at these two brothers being so harmonious. A smile couldn't help but appear on Uchiha Kagami's face. The plot is completely different now. The scene of brothers killing each other should not be staged, right? Thinking of this, Uchiha Kagami looked at Fugaku beside him. Fugaku, can you help me with the matter of Omei and Xiaomei? Okay, no problem, I'll contact you now. Fugaku didn't delay either. Especially Jing also helped him bring the midwife. He even asked Tsunade, one of the Sannin, to help. Such a favor was big enough for him, and a little matchmaking wasn't a big deal. Then, under his contact, Uchiha and Xiaomei both went to Kagami's house. Although Kagami was curious about the progress of the date, he was not shy enough to watch it and instead continued to stay at Fugaku's house. And because Mikoto just gave birth, except for Tsunade, the other medical staff have not left yet. Responsible for taking care of the weak Mikoto, Fugaku and Kagami sat at the door, the former couldn't help but sigh. I now have 2 sons. What? Uchiha Kagami said seriously. This child is a grateful person, but he is not as clear-minded as Yahiko. He is easily influenced by others, and he is the son of prophecy and has the eyes of a fairy. Not only does he not mind, but he is very happy with it. The success of the small family and the prosperity of the big family are all thanks to the right choice. You have worked hard over the years. Thank you, Patriarch. That's why you want to match up Uchiha and Nagato? Does that kid Nagato mind getting married? Fugaku asked curiously. Suddenly, Uchiha Yashira said with a difficult expression, this person also spread a lot of rumors, saying that you are ambitious and trying to unify the ninja world, and you deserve death. It's really well-intentioned. Fugaku hasn't finished speaking yet. Once he goes down the wrong path, no one can pull him back except Yahiko, so it is very important to have a happy family. Family love can make people unable to reason, but it will become his emotional bond. These are not rumors, and he threatened that you, Konoha, Rain Shinobi Village, and Akatsuki are all cancers in the ninja world. Wait, correct me. Uchiha Kagami chuckled and said, you're welcome, just call me big brother. In fact, we are not young anymore. It is satisfying enough to see the younger generations grow up healthily and have children and grandchildren. Everything else is just a false name. But the relationship between Nagato and you hasn't been revealed yet. I'm afraid even the marriage will have to be postponed. Oh, what else? Jing said calmly. He looked slightly anxious and hurriedly reported. Master Clan Leader, someone has exposed the master-disciple relationship between you and Nagato. This person also promoted the Akatsuki organization as an evil organization, and claimed that you and the Akatsuki organization defrauded the ninja world of tens of billions. 2. Yashira appears wearing a mask. Chapter 154 Nagato's first blind date, this is more tense than fighting. Advertisement, ah. Uchiha Yashira was stunned for a moment. I didn't expect the Patriarch to be so honest. Although Konoha's reputation is now seriously polarized, many people in Konoha don't actually think that Uchiha Kagami wants to unify the ninja world. Yes, in the eyes of most people in the ninja world, this is wishful thinking. After all, even the famous Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara didn't do it back then, so why can you do it? Actually, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara were able to do it. The latter even made this suggestion, but the former rejected it more mercifully, believing that unifying the ninja world would create hatred. But the people of the ninja world don't know. They simply think that Senju Hashirama cannot do it, which is a huge misunderstanding. Although Uchiha Yashira had similar thoughts, he actually couldn't believe that the clan leader was so frank now. Wasn't he always secretive in the past? Clan leader. Why, don't you cover up now? Yashira couldn't help but ask. Because the situation is now clear. The masked man helped Rasa ascend to power and controlled the 2 major ninja villages, Sanagakure and Kirigakure. Uchiha Kagami said slowly, and we have reached a cooperative relationship with Onoki and 4th Hokage, all because Konoha, are getting stronger and stronger. So they can't sit still, the so-called peace in the ninja world, they're just talking. Only the unification of the ninja world can the war be minimized, but those people are just unwilling to let their own interests be harmed, and Rain Shinobi Village is our ally of Konoha. They will deal with this sooner or later. Then, what do you mean, now is the sign to take action? Yashira asked again. No, it's still early. Uchiha Kagami shook his head, but asked, someone exposed the relationship between me and Nagato again. Did they make it true this time? Or, was it just verbal slander? It's confirmed. Someone took photos of Nagato, Obito, and Shisui is your grandson. This is no less than confirming the potential relationship between the Akatsuki organization and you. Yashira took out a photo. After taking the mirror, he looked up and down a few times. This photo was obviously taken by Black Zetsu the day before yesterday, but instead of being angry, he laughed out loud. My lord, team leader. What are you laughing at? Yashira asked suspiciously. I laughed because they were completely out of their depth, so they could only take photos to plunge Konoha into a whirlpool of public opinion, but that was all they could do. Because they didn't have the guts to take action against us, at least not in the early stages. Uchiha Kagami sneered. This photo was obviously taken secretly by Black Zetsu. At that time, Nagato, Obito, and Shisui teamed up. Black Zetsu's old coin was obviously worried that the masked man would lose, so he took photos to confirm the relationship between Nagato and him, and also proved that what Onoki and the others said was true. But this way, it just caused Konoha to be attacked by some public opinion. As for actually taking action, Haha, even the 4 major ninja villages don't dare. Naturally, other Shao ninja villages could only talk about it. But what Black Zetsu did was enough to prove one thing, that is, the masked man is definitely in a bad situation now. That is to say, Uchiha Kagami thought to himself, the masked man is either dead. Black Zetsu can hardly snatch Rinnegan away under my nose. Even if he can snatch it away, there are very few people who can inherit Rinnegan's Rinne Tensei. There has only been one Nagato in the ninja world for so many years. Black Zetsu's filial son's plan to resurrect his mother has failed again, so he can only use such public opinion attacks to temporarily trap Konoha in a verbal trap. Either there is another possibility, that the masked man has only one breath left, and Black Zetsu did this just to delay time and give the masked man a chance to recover. As long as this person recovers, then there is still hope of resurrecting Kaguya. He slightly deduced Black Zetsu's thoughts. After thinking about it roughly, I think the second one might be bigger. Advertisement after all, even Amaterasu has a hard time burning people to death, so fire style is probably even harder, right? Then what should we do? Find this person? Uchiha asked. Do not care. Yes, Mr. Patriarch. Although Black Zetsu's combat effectiveness is a bit lacking. But he is also the third son of the founder of Chakra. You can use Yin-Yang Escape Spiritual Possession and Yin-Yang Escape Spiritual Possession Assimilation. The former of these two techniques can control the enemy's consciousness and actions, and can extend the life of a dying person to a certain extent. Obito would have died if he used Rinne Tensei, but being saved a little bit of life allowed Six Paths Naruto to change the ending of his death. Moreover, this technique is almost impossible for ordinary ninjas to compete with Black Zetsu's consciousness, let alone Jonin. Even cage level ones have to be careful. The second Yin-Yang release is actually the technique to resurrect Kaguya. Assimilate 10 Tails Jinchuriki with Yin-Yang done, and absorb chakra into Infinite Tsukuyomi's body, completely becoming Otsutsuki Kaguya. And he also has very strong perception ability. The range of perception is very large and difficult to access. The key is, Black Zetsu itself is incorporeal. He is the product of Kaguya's will created by Yin-Yang done. This thing is very special, even a little more outrageous than the truth-seeking ball. Apart from Yin-Yang done, there is no way to deal with it, and the only way is Six Paths Sealing. To some extent, similar to Kaguya's immortality. Plus he can possess White Zetsu and use the floating technique. Even if it is found, there is no way to seal it, not to mention that it is not easy to find Black Zetsu after thousands of years, so it is better not to look for it at all. Wait until Yashiro leaves. Uchiha Kagami suddenly thought of something. Since the relationship between Nagato and me has been exposed, there is no need to worry about anything. If Nagato likes Dami and Xiaomei, then he can complete the wedding and have a child or something. I just don't know. Can this guy Nagato flirt with girls? He won't screw it up, right? Konoha Village. Patriarch's courtyard. Nagato sat on the chair, feeling sweaty. To be honest, he felt that he had never been so nervous before during the battle with the masked man. Benedict. Suddenly, there was a knock at the courtyard door. Nagato hurriedly stood up to greet him, and as soon as he opened the door, he saw 2 beautiful girls. They all have long flowing black hair and a pair of big black eyes. They are very similar to Makoto when he was young. They are both good-looking girls with a quiet temperament. Hello, my name is Uchiha Daime, and I am my sister. Hello, my name is Uchiha Xiaomei, and I am my younger sister. Hello, my name is Nagato, please sit down quickly. Nagato is very reserved, but try to be as generous as possible. He hurriedly took the 2 of them to sit on chairs in the courtyard, and the 3 of them fell into an awkward blind date face to face. Chapter 155 Nagato. Yahiko, I seem to be in love advertisement. Nagato, who has been a bachelor for so many years. This was the first time I was forced to go on a blind date. I didn't know how to talk to a girl, and I was confused for a while. But he knew very well, as a disciple of Mirror, I must not let the teacher down. So Nagato looked at them quickly and couldn't help but sincerely praise. My teacher showed me your photos, but I have to say, you are much prettier in person than in the photos. Thank you for the compliment, you are very handsome too. Daime smiled sweetly. Thank you, Nagato said. Xiaomei didn't say anything. Instead, he blinked his beautiful eyes slightly mischievously and said curiously, I heard that you are the leader of Rain Shinobi Village. Isn't that similar to our 4th Hokage-sama? No, it's different. Nagato explained. I am the leader of the Akatsuki organization under Rain Shinobi Village. The leader of Rain Shinobi Village is Yahiko. And Rain Shinobi Village is just a small shinobi village, so there is no such thing as a shadow, so there is no way to compare it. Is that so? Then you plan to marry both of us? Isn't it too greedy? Xiaomei was deliberately being cunning. Huh, I don't have it. I can do it. Really? Doesn't it matter either way? Are you so casual about feelings? No, I didn't. I just, sorry, my sister is more naughty. Daime said helplessly. She was actually joking with you, don't mind. I don't mind, Xiaomei is quite interesting. Daime, you are also very good, Nagato added. Honest man. Xiaomei covered her mouth and laughed. Seeing Nagato's panic, I couldn't help but find it so funny. The reason why the sisters came to the blind date was just because of the face of the deputy chief in chief. In fact, they didn't know Nagato at all, and they had only heard about him, but now it seems that this boy is not bad. At least it can stand up to a joke, which is good. However, the sisters still have to investigate, even if they are the disciples of the clan leader. Otherwise, marrying 2 wives from the Uchiha clan will definitely make others jealous, and the clan leader will be criticized. It's too boring to stay here, why don't you go out for a walk? Xiaomei said suddenly. But my relationship with the teacher. The relationship between you two was exposed just now. The patriarch has admitted your relationship with him, including the other 2. So it doesn't matter. Huh? That doesn't matter. Let's go shopping. Nagato was surprised. But I breathed a sigh of relief, this was indeed foolproof. Since everything had been exposed, it wasn't a big deal, so I took the 2 girls out for shopping. But Nagato's eyes are so eye-catching, especially since he regained his confidence and no longer covered his eyes with his hair. However, the people of Konoha had never seen the immortal eyes, and Nagato's potential identity was exposed, so everyone rushed to see it. Master Mirror's disciple, he actually appeared in Konoha? It seems to be true. Tisk, tisk, is this the legendary eye of the immortal? Let me see, there was chaos in the streets. In the blink of an eye, it was blocked. It's okay if Nagato is alone. The key is that there are 2 people, Dame and Xiaomei, who are a little at a loss when they are squeezed. Spread out. You're crowded, excuse me, advertisement. But, everyone is unwilling. Dame and Xiaomei were panicked, their eyes slightly red. Nagato could only lower his head and apologize, put his hands around the waists of Dame and Xiaomei, and jumped up directly. This scene, the onlookers were stunned. Holy shit, this guy can fly? As expected of Master Jing's disciple, he is so awesome. Flying too fast, I can't see it anymore. I'm leaving. I'm going home to collect my clothes. And at this moment, flying high in the sky, Nagato hugged him from left to right. Dami and Xiaomei exclaimed again and again, and couldn't help but be surprised. You can actually fly? There are not many ninjas in this world who can fly. I heard that only the 3rd Tsuchikage can fly. It seems to be because of that magic. Super light heavy rock technique, my teacher can do it too. Nagato explained briefly, but it's not because of this technique. This technique will make the body lighter and the attack power is weaker. It's because of Rinnegan's own repulsive and gravitational abilities. It allows my body to fly freely without losing weight. Then you are even more powerful, Xiaomei praised. No, the teacher is still great, Nagato said modestly. The 2 girls were just held flying. It flew directly outside Konoha village and landed on a hillside. Dame and Xiaomei enjoyed the pleasure of flying and thought about it for a while, but soon thought of the scene of being hugged just now, and the 2 women's faces turned red with embarrassment. Sorry, the matter is urgent, I can only do this. I'm worried that you will be squeezed by the crowd. It's not intentional. Nagato scratched his head. It's okay, I don't mind. Uchiha Mei shook her head and comforted her a little. But your status is too special. Not only is the disciple of the patriarch, but you also have the legendary eye of the immortal. It will inevitably cause a commotion when you appear in Konoha village for the first time today. As time goes by, everyone will get used to it, I understand, Nagato said. I still want to fly. The little girl feels very relaxed. Although the 2 of them are members of the Uchiha clan. But they are ordinary people who have not awakened Sharingan, and do not have any chakra to speak of. Flying is definitely a new thing. Not to mention, many people's dream is to fly. Now someone can fly with them, which is such a joy. Sister, don't be so presumptuous. This is the first time we've met each other, Dame said dissatisfied. Okay, let's fly next time. Xiaomei walked over with a smile and pinched his cheek. Although I didn't go shopping today, this flight trip also made me feel very happy. I am very happy to have a relationship with you. From now on, you will be my and my sister's boyfriend, friends. Oh, is it so sudden? Nagato's face turned red. What if? No, your sister hasn't expressed her position yet. My sister is very traditional. She just said she doesn't mind if you hold her waist, which proves that she already has a crush on you, but now is the testing period. Xiaomei blinked her beautiful eyes and poked his arm. Besides, my sister and I grew up together and have a very good relationship, so I don't want to be separated from my sister. If you marry both of us in the future, then you can enjoy great blessings. Thank you, I will try my best, Nagato said seriously. Daddy Ganba, hash carrot. Carrot hash, give you a kiss as a reward, moi. Xiaomei saw that he was so honest. Stand on tiptoes and touch his face lightly. This made Nagato blush as red as an apple, his heartbeat was beating so fast, his mind was spinning, and now there was only one strong thought left. Yahiko. I'm like, falling in love. Chapter 156 confused Nagato, guidance from the teacher. Advertisement, Uchiha Daime was also stunned for a moment. I didn't expect my sister to be so direct, this was my sister's first kiss. And they actually spent less than a few hours together with Nagato, which made the older sister a little confused. But her sister took her and went straight to home. Back home, Uchiha took her sister and asked her, Xiaomei, what's wrong with you? Even if the patriarch's disciple is a good person, he won't give him a first kiss when they meet for the first time, right? Oh, of course I know. Xiaomei lowered her head shyly. But I just can't help it, okay. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. Logically speaking, I'm not like this on weekdays, but seeing him so cute, I can't help it. Is this just love at first sight? Daime guessed. Yes, it was love at first sight. Nagato is handsome, so powerful, and the son of prophecy. I heard from the clan leader that he is the savior of the ninja world. In fact, it is not a loss for us to marry him, and we can stay with my sister for the rest of our lives. Xiaomei said with a smile. But I haven't thought about it yet. Daimei is the older sister. In fact, I have a good impression of Nagato, especially since he knew how to rescue them. If Nagato hadn't carried them and flew away just now, others might have taken advantage of them. But she is different from her sister. It's too difficult to make up your mind just because of this move. Of course, Xiaomei understood her sister's thoughts. She blinked her beautiful eyes and said, Sister, you don't have to make a decision now. Since we want to start a family, we must spend more time together. I don't think Nagato will leave anytime soon. Wouldn't it be great if you could work harder to get to know him better? Okay, I'll try my best. Daimei breathed a sigh of relief. In fact, she was not so resistant in her heart, because after all, Nagato is the disciple of the clan leader, and the clan leader is now the #1 person in the ninja world, so his status and power go without saying much. And Nagato himself is not an ordinary character. Whether it's the eyes of the immortal or the identity of the 3 top executives of Rain Shinobi Village, in fact, if you go on a blind date, there are a lot of people in the ninja world waiting in line. On the other hand, the deputy patriarch actually hinted to them that it would be best not to refuse. This move actually had a certain purpose for the marriage, not only to allow Nagato to have a small family, but also to strengthen the relationship between Rain Shinobi Village and Konoha. Especially since the situation has changed recently. Although the masked man's life or death is unknown, Konoha also needs the support of allies. But fortunately, the clan leader is a very tolerant person and will not force any clan member to marry anyone else, even if that person is his disciple. But the reason why Daimei is confused, in fact, it is not mainly a matter of time, but that the sisters marry him together. You must know that the ninja world is a monogamous system. There is no polygamy system. If 2 people are really married, that would break some potential wedding rules. Advertisement Uchiha Tribe Land. Nagato returned to his teacher's home. The whole person was still a little unresponsive, but when he opened the door, he saw the teacher, staring at him with a half smile. His eyes were very strange. Teacher, why are you staring at me like that? Nagato muttered. Okay, kid, I thought you were emotionally insensitive, but I didn't expect that you actually won Daimei and Xiaomei. Uchiha Kagami came over, patted him on the shoulder and smiled. Huh? Only one person kissed you? Who was it, Daimei or Xiaomei? Teacher, how do you know? Did you peek? Nagato was shocked. Who do you think you are, teacher? Look at the red face when you came in. Of course, that's not the point. The point is that the red lip marks on your face haven't been wiped yet. Uchiha Kagami rolled his eyes. Nagato's entire face turned red. He quickly wiped off the red lips on his face with his sleeve. He was completely at a loss and there was a trace of apology on his face. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. It's okay, how about it? Sit down and talk. This time we get along. It should be pretty good, right? Jing said with a smile. It's okay, I was a little bit conflicted at first. Nagato sat next to him and defended in a low voice. Well, it's not that I'm against your arrangement for me. It's that I'm against the blind date. We were quite embarrassed at first. I'm also clumsy, but fortunately Xiaomei has a good impression of me. Okay, where is Daimei? Doesn't he have a bad impression of you? Jing asked. No, right? Daimei should also have a crush on me, but not as strongly as my sister. I can feel that she actually has some worries, but I don't know what she is worried about, Nagato replied. It's normal. As a girl, it's normal to be entangled. Uchiha Kagami smiled and said, after all, you are the one who wants to marry 2 wives. Daimei is not as carefree as Xiaomei. She also needs to consider what the villagers will think about this matter after the 3 people get married. Although this child is a girl and not a ninja, at least she is one of the few smart girls in the Uchiha clan, and will become your good wife in the future. Thank you, teacher, but, do the villagers really have no ideas? Nagato asked worriedly. There will be, but it won't be too big. After all, your identity is different. Don't forget that you are the son of prophecy with the eyes of an immortal. Uchiha Kagami said straightforwardly. I have already preached that you are the savior of this world, so your specialness will make everyone more tolerant, but it won't work if you replace it with Yahiko. Do you understand? That's it. Nagato lowered his head. Touching his eyes, he fell into silence. In fact, if he didn't know the inside story of Rinnegan at the beginning, that would be fine. But since he learned that the eyes were not his own, but transplanted from Uchiha Madara, he didn't have much idea about a savior, but he was a little confused about his future path. These eyes belong to someone else. All his strength comes from these eyes. What if one day his eyes are gone? If Uchiha Madara is resurrected and this matter is exposed in the future, even if it is not exposed, I am afraid that without Rinnegan, he will be lost to everyone. Days like this, it wasn't a big deal, but he didn't want to live up to his teacher's expectations. He didn't want Yahiko and Konan to live an ordinary life again. In fact, he didn't like these eyes at all. But he now had to get used to it and accept it. Seemingly sensing his disciple's thoughts, Uchiha Kagami patted him on the shoulder. I told you before, Uchiha Madara transplanted Rinnegan into you when you were young. This matter is destined to make you the child of prophecy. Don't belittle yourself. Even if these Rinnegans belong to someone else, there are no more than 3 people in the entire ninja world who can bear these eyes. I accepted you as my disciple, not because of these Rinnegan. Chapter 157 Yahiko. Teacher, I also want to marry 2 wives. Advertisement, then. Teacher, what are you doing for? Nagato asked. Nagato, your teacher, I never wanted to take advantage of you in the first place. although the Rinnegan is strong. But I, Uchiha Kagami, have been in the ninja world for so many years. I am confident that I will not be weaker than Madara. I will awaken the Rinnegan myself. Uchiha Kagami said earnestly. The reason why I accepted you as my disciple in the first place has nothing to do with whether you are the son of the prophecy, whether you are the savior, or whether you can keep these eyes. You are cold on the outside and hot on the inside. But if you lack a clear mind like Yahiko, you are easily influenced by the people around you. The truth is that people who are close to red are red and those who are close to ink are black. That's it. I just hope that you can live happily. Just have your own happy family and no longer be troubled by anything else. Teacher, thank you. Nagato felt warm in his heart. His eyes were red, but he held back tears. He actually knows what his character is like. If the teacher hadn't seen through Madara's plan, Yahiko would have been killed. If Yahiko dies, his purpose for living is gone. He wanted to be the savior not for himself, but for Yahiko's ideals and to prevent Konan from living the wandering life he once had. He actually believed Madara when she started to stir up trouble. This makes him feel very regretful now. Okay, Nagato, it's all over. Uchiha Kagami smiled gently and said, you and Dami and Xiaomei still need to spend more time together. Don't be too anxious emotionally. But you don't have a place to live, so you can stay with me temporarily? Do you mind? I don't mind, teacher. Nagato nodded slightly. Something suddenly occurred to him. He scratched his head and hesitated. Then I have been staying in Konoha, isn't it not good? Yahiko and Konan are still busy in Rain Shinobi village. But I am in love here. If Yahiko knows if you do, you will definitely beat me up. Then take them both over, right? Huh? What about Rain Shinobi village? It doesn't matter if we stay for a few days. Your village won't be able to function without the three of you? Jing asked with a smile. That's not true. That's not right. Besides, you are not in Rain Shinobi village. How can you ensure the safety of Yahiko and Konan? You don't have to worry so much when you come here. Okay, then it's up to you. Nagato didn't have any objection either. And Jing smiled and went directly to Rain Shinobi village. A flying thunder god technique brought Konan and Yahiko home. The two were confused when they saw Nagato and the teacher. Teacher, why did you bring us here? I still have to keep accounts, Konan said resentfully. Nagato is getting married. What the hell? Konan hasn't spoken yet. Yahiko became anxious and stared at Nagato to find out. Nagato explained helplessly. It's not as outrageous as what the teacher said, it's just a love affair. The teacher asked me to go on a blind date with a girl from Uchiha, but considering that we will stay for a while, I picked you up. Blind date? How is the girl? How does she look? Yahiko asked. Very good looking, very quiet, both girls are very nice, they are girls from the Uchiha clan, and they are twins. What? Yahiko was immediately shocked. Two girls from the Uchiha clan? Or twins? Wait, you want to marry two wives? Ahem, that's it. The teacher arranged it for me, Nagato said with a guilty conscience. You deserve to die, Yahiko cried and howled. His eyes were red with envy, and he was grabbing his hair frantically. Advertisement. He knelt directly in front of the teacher and cried with tears in his eyes. Teacher, I also want two wives. They're all your disciples. You can't be partial, woo-woo-woo. Yahiko, stop making trouble, the teacher has his own reasons, Nagato persuaded. I don't care. I want two wives too. Woohoo, I've been doing business in Rain Shinobi village, and I'm almost exhausted. Yahiko cried loudly, her voice cracking. Aside from going out to do tasks to make money, this boy Nagato doesn't care about the village's government affairs at all. Why can he marry two wives? Also, this kid is stupid, not as handsome as me, and has not as high an emotional intelligence as me. Why am I still single? Teacher. You also give me a blind date. The apprentice also wants twins, woo-woo. Nagato. Konan. Uchiha Kagami. Speak the truth, Uchiha Kagami really didn't expect this kid to be so naughty. The point is, doesn't he have a crush on Konan? What do you mean by blind date? But Nagato can actually understand it a little bit. After all, as good brothers, we have always been single, and as Yahiko, who is eloquent, is more like an elder brother among the three, which convinces everyone. And what about Nagato? His character is more of a goon. He has no idea about handling government affairs and can only make money by killing people. A stupid boy who knows nothing about relationships ends up falling in love and marrying two wives at once. No, why should he? Brothers really can't stand it. Yahiko, don't cry yet. I'll have a few words with you in private. Good teacher. Yahiko wiped away tears. He regained his composure and changed his face faster than returning the book. Yahiko was confused and said, Teacher, although I like Konan, Konan also needs to like me, but the problem is that I don't know if she likes me. Or are you worried about damaging the original relationship between the two? Wouldn't it be embarrassing if there was a quarrel and they couldn't be friends? What if Konan doesn't like me? He would rather be friends with Konan for the rest of his life. Of course not, but, to be honest, that's why he didn't dare to ask. Forget it if you don't like it. Teacher, I'll go on a blind date with you. I'll confirm Konan's thoughts first. If you like it, I can arrange a wedding for you right away and have a baby on schedule, Jing said with a smile. Ask directly. As long as you confess your love, you will definitely succeed. Yahiko is scared. The two walked to the corner of the courtyard, and Uchiha Kagami asked furiously, Don't you like Konan? If I also give you a blind date, what about Konan, and you can't marry two wives? Huh, is this too fast? I'm not ready yet. I'm worried, she doesn't like me. You know the special nature of Nagato, and only he can do this, but you can't, so you can only marry one wife, or you don't want Konan anymore. He also didn't want to let the two of them stay away from each other for a long time because of his own feelings. What if? Seeing the worries in Yahiko's heart, Uchiha Kagami was old-fashioned and Akamichi said, Don't worry, you didn't ask. How do you know Konan doesn't like you? Nagato told me. Konan is actually also interested in you. Speak the truth, then go and ask. How would you know if you didn't ask? Jing said bluntly. Chapter 158 Resurrection Uchiha Madara, Black Zetsu's Plan. Advertisement. Yahiko frowned. Really? Then why can't I feel it? That's because Konan is a child with a delicate mind and can easily hide his emotions deep down. Nagato is a sultry man and you are too outgoing. Your personalities are clear at a glance, but it's hard to guess a woman's mind. Mirror Road. Mensao. This word is really appropriate, but what if it fails? Yahiko struggled. It doesn't matter if you fail. It's too obvious that you like Konan. Do you think Konan doesn't know it? The relationship between the three of you is actually not that fragile, just like the Konoha Sanin in our village. You know that, right? Uchiha Kagami said with a smile. Jiraiya has liked Tsunade for many years. Do you think Tsunade doesn't know? Tsunade knows it too well. Jiraiya also revealed his feelings when he was young, but now the two of them have a good relationship. The three of you have grown up together. How come you have severed your relationship just because you confessed your love? You were worried too much. There is no need. Besides, if you just reveal your feelings, nothing will happen, right Bar? That's right, it's not a big problem if you reveal it a little bit. Thank you teacher, I understand. Yahiko is so grateful to the teacher. He knelt down directly on the ground and kowtowed to him. Uchiha Kagami smiled and helped him up. This guy has a really likable personality. He is carefree and can say anything. A head of orange hair. His handsome face is indeed as good as Nagato's. Cheerful sunshine is exactly the same as Naruto, but he did not have the fate of the protagonist and died prematurely, if the mirror hadn't changed the plot direction. This guy probably won't express his feelings for Konan until he dies, right? When do you plan to reveal it? Jing asked curiously. Don't worry, I already have a plan. I believe my teacher won't mess it up. Okay, I believe you. Is Nagato really going to have two wives? Really, both girls have a crush on Nagato, so it's not a big problem. Teacher, if Konan rejects me, can I marry a girl from your clan? I don't need twins. Get out. Okay, let's go. Yahiko is not angry. Instead, he smiled and left with Yahiko and Konan. After starting their wandering around Konoha village, this was the first time they appeared openly in Konoha village, so it caused quite a commotion. After all, Yahiko is also the leader of a village after all. As the first shinobi village of the shinobi village, Rain Shinobi village still has a lot of influence. But after these few days, they appeared frequently, and everyone got used to it, and they no longer caused commotion. Outside Rain Shinobi village, a dark-looking guy emerged from the water beach. At this time, Black Zetsu now covered the masked man's body, barely hanging on to the masked man's life with his spiritual possession. But he could hardly stay away for long. Otherwise, the masked man will completely die. He thought for a long time but couldn't save the masked man, so he planned to come to Rain Shinobi village to try his luck. Steal Nagato's Rinnegan directly. With his yin-yang release spiritual possession, as long as the opponent relaxes, he can definitely control Nagato, and then he can directly resurrect Uchiha Madara with Rinne Tensai. As for this kid's life and death, that doesn't matter. As long as Madara is resurrected, everything will still have a chance. Of course, he doesn't have to wear the mask at all, but the masked man is still the person designated by Uchiha Madara before his death for Project Tsuki no Mi. If advertisement, I don't care about it at all. Madara may not doubt herself, so it is better to bring her. What if Madara is resurrected and there is a way to save the masked man? Not sure. Black Zetsu looked at the endless Rain Shinobi village and couldn't help but think to himself. Nagato has the Rain Tiger Free technique, which can cover the entire Rain Shinobi village and sense the enemy's movements. Including me, so I can't be touched by the rain. We can only use the Mayfly technique to get into the ground, appear directly on the tower, and control Nagato to resurrect Uchiha Madara. Thinking of this, he began to burrow into the ground very quickly. In less than a few minutes, he appeared on the tower, scanning the surroundings carefully, trying to find the target. But, embarrassingly, there was no one. Damn it, where are the people? Black Zetsu was completely confused. What does it mean that these three people are no longer here? Are you completely ignoring Rain Shinobi village? Aren't you the senior executives of Rain Shinobi village? So irresponsible? Black Zetsu said he didn't understand. Immediately called out a White Zetsu. White Zetsu said flatteringly. Master Black Zetsu, what are your orders? Please tell me. Where are these three brats Nagato? Black Zetsu said hoarsely. No more. This person disappeared just a moment ago. He should have been taken away by Uchiha Kagami. He may be in Konoha village now, but Uchiha Kagami is in charge of Konoha village, and White Zetsu cannot sneak in. So there is no guarantee that they will stay for a few days, White Zetsu said. Black Zetsu's face darkened. Doesn't that mean that his plan to resurrect Uchiha Madara was ruined? Do you want to wait here? There is currently no information available within Konoha. Who knows when these three brats will come back? Will grass grow on the masked man's grave when they come back? White Zetsu seemed to notice that Black Zetsu was in a bad mood, so he put forward his own suggestion. If you want to save the masked man, You don't have to be a scientist, a doctor or a Yakushi. Are you blind? Can't you tell how badly the masked man is injured? Can Yakushi be treated? Black Zetsu said angrily. I know, but treating a dead horse like a living horse is a doctor. White Zetsu smiled and said, and this Yakushi is not an ordinary Yakushi. Her identity is somewhat special. And the medical ninjutsu is not weak. Even if the masked man cannot be cured, it may have some life-extending effects. Special status? Who are you talking about? Black Zetsu frowned. Yakushi Nanoyu, this person is very low-key, but on the eve of the Third Ninja World War, he was taken under the command of Uchiha Kagami, and established an orphanage in the Land of Fire, and Nanoyu was active as the director. In the Country of Birds, White Zetsu said. Yakushi no. Is she very powerful? How does she compare with Tsunade? Black Zetsu asked. Of course it's incomparable, but she can be favored by Uchiha Kagami. She must be very talented in medical ninjutsu, and she has been active in the small country, specifically responsible for gathering more war orphans, and also healing some injured people. I think you can try it. That's it. White Zetsu fell silent. Yakushi Nanoyu, he had never heard of this person at all. But since this person is attracted by Uchiha Kagami, it proves in disguise that this person is not simple. Even if he can't save the masked man, he might as well try without losing anything. Then let's give it a try. It depends on the masked man's luck, Black Zetsu decided. Then we should directly capture Nanoyu alive. This person is Yakushi and is not good at fighting. He only needs to use a few White Zetsu to get it done. No, let me observe first before talking. Black Zetsu immediately said. I have to confirm whether Nanoyu is a trap set by Uchiha Kagami. What if I go there and die immediately? White Zetsu boasted. Oh, as expected of Black Zetsu-sama, he is as smart as a fool, as stupid as a fool. Black Zetsu. Shut up, don't talk if you don't know how to use idioms. White Zetsu. Great. Chapter 159 Yakushi no, the stubborn young boy Kabuto. Advertisement. White Zetsu shut his mouth. Black Zetsu, on the other hand, left directly for the Land of Birds. The Kingdom of Birds is of course a small country, located at the junction of the Kingdom of Earth and the Kingdom of Wind. Although the Third Ninja War is over, for these small countries, the war will actually continue for a long time. Or, even the melee between the 5 major ninja villages. In fact, only 1,000 ninjas were dispatched, no more than 10,000 at most. There are not that many ninjas in Shao Ninja Village at all, so the daily wars in Shao Ninja Village are actually just dozens to hundreds of people fighting. On a smaller scale, maybe just a few people throwing shurikens at each other. Although it is called a war on the surface, the scale is so small that it happens all year round and there is almost no break. And since Yahiko became the leader of Rain Shinobi Village, the Country of Birds can bully neighboring countries, such as the Country of Bears. The strength of both sides is similar, with less than 100 genin, only a dozen shunin, and only 1 or 2 jonin. Certainly, the quality of ninjas in these small countries varies. Some look like chunin, but in fact they are not even as good as genin. Some of them look like jonin, but they are only a little stronger than shunin. These 2 countries are in a similar situation. Quick! Kill him. This kid is the remnant of the bear country. Okay, I'll kill him. At this moment, a little boy only a few years old. He ran desperately at a loss, but accidentally fell off the cliff and hit his head on a rock. But just because of falling off the cliff, the little boy was not caught up and saved his life. But he woke up and looked around blankly. Fear appeared on his face, biting his lips and wanting to leave. Who am I? Where am I? Why am I here? He was scared. But a woman came towards me. This woman is only in her 20s and has long, light yellow hair. With a gentle smile on his face, he walked over and his hands glowed with green light, slowly healing the boy's injuries. Don't be afraid, children. Who are you? My name is No, I'm a Yakushi and the director of the orphanage. Nanoyu touched his cheek. You are safe now. I will take you to the orphanage. There are many children of your age there. You will not feel lonely. I am with you, don't worry. Dean Nanoyu. The little boy felt very warm. For the first time, he felt a sense of maternal love. Nanoyu smiled softly. What's your name? Where are your parents? The little boy covered his head and said aggrievedly. I don't know, I don't remember. I don't remember anything, I can't remember who I am, I don't have a name. It's okay, I'll get one for you, okay, advertisement. Just call Kabuto. Thank you, Dean, I like this name very much. Kabuto was happy, but due to long-term malnutrition, coupled with the injury just now, he fainted directly. But fortunately, with the help of Yakushi Nanoyu's medical ninjutsu, Kabuto's injuries were mostly healed quickly. Nanoyu carried the boy on his back and headed towards the Fire Country orphanage. Along the way, Kabuto woke up and found himself on his back. Dean, I can go by myself. No, although your injuries are not serious, you have accumulated a lot of minor injuries over the years. You will need in-depth treatment before you go back, Nanoyu said. Dean, thank you. You're welcome, we'll be a family from now on. Nanoyu smiled softly. Carrying the bag on my back, I returned to the orphanage. The orphanage was on the border of the Land of Fire. This orphanage was funded by Konoha, and of course it was approved by Uchiha Kagami, who also found Yakushi Nunoyu. And, as a senior, he taught Nanoyu many medical ninjutsu. As the leader of the root organization, of course Kagami will not let No and Kabuto stage a drama of mother and son killing each other. The reason why he established this orphanage was, of course, not for any purpose of use, but because the 5 major ninja villages caused the destruction of the ninja world. Being able to save more war orphans is considered a good deed. Before him, Konoha provoked a war during the Second Ninja War. Although the Third Ninja Village was instigated by other ninja villages, the Third Ninja War was actually a continuation of the Second Ninja War. Konoha still had unshirkable responsibilities, so it was necessary to build an orphanage. And the original work, Danzo will threaten Nanoyu. He even considered the orphanage as a backup member of the Roots. It was so despicable to let those children become spies, and he wouldn't do it even if he didn't bother to do it. Nanoyu took Kabuto back to the orphanage. I don't want to be a ninja. I just want to be with the dean, Kabuto said stubbornly. What's wrong, Dean? Kabuto noticed something unusual. Listen to me. Kabuto, you are very talented in medical ninjutsu. I know an important person in Konoha. Although I can't make you apprentice, but I can recommend you to become a ninja in Konoha. But even just his medical talent is enough to attract people's attention. I will never be a ninja in this life, no matter who the big shot is, I will do what I say. That one is a real big shot, you will definitely regret it if you name him. I want to ask, do you want to become a ninja? But before that, I need to ask this child's opinion. After his injuries were healed, he learned medical ninjutsu from No. I don't want to be a ninja, I don't want to. Tears flowed down unsatisfactorily. Nanoyu felt sorry for him and wiped away his tears. He knelt down and said softly. Okay, as long as you don't want to. I won't force you, just stay with me first. If you regret it, you can talk to me. His eyes were red, and he grabbed the corner of Nanoyu's clothes. Nanoyu looked at him and said seriously, becoming a ninja of Konoha, you don't need to follow me all the time to save the injured. My child, you have a broader future, don't be willful. Kabuto is very stubborn, but what surprised No was that Kabuto's talent in medical ninjutsu was amazing and could be called a genius. Otherwise it's very ordinary. Nanoyu looked at Kabuto, although he said reluctantly, Kabuto's medical ninjutsu talent is very strong. Even just one is enough to become an excellent ninja. Maybe I can report it to Kagami-senpai. Kabuto pouted. I won't regret it. Chapter 160. Talent is not enough, technology can help. Advertisement, then don't regret it. Nanoyu nodded his eyebrows and said with a serious expression. That person is not only a big shot in Konoha, but also one of the best in the entire ninja world. Although he may not be able to accept you as his disciple. As long as I give you a few words of support, the days to come will be different. I don't want it, Dean. Kabuto refused. That's Uchiha Kagami. Uchiha Kagami. Then I don't want to leave. I just want to stay with the dean. Kabuto still didn't hesitate, his little hands grasped her sleeves tightly. Due to the devastation of the war, he fell into a cliff and lost his memory. Not only was the memory of his biological parents gone, but he also had no memory of their names. It was the dean who gave him his name, which is no less important than a new student. In his heart, the dean is like a mother. Now that he is still a child, how can he leave the dean? Silly boy, I respect your decision. Nayu felt warm in his heart. He rubbed his head with a smile on his face. The child Kabuto was also very different in her eyes. Although the other children were also war orphans, they at least still had memories of their relatives. But Kabuto has completely lost his emotional memory, and it's so pitiful to be alone. Therefore, she needs to carefully reshape Kabuto's emotional bond, and Kabuto is also a very well-behaved child, so she hopes that he can live a different life. Dean, how did you meet that big shot? Kabuto asked curiously. Actually, when I was rescuing orphans, I was accidentally attacked by other bad guys, but Senior Jing defeated those people and saved me. He also agreed with my ideals, so he helped me build this orphanage. Nanoyu revealed his recalling eyes, and he also funded me a lot of money in medical equipment. After all, there are more and more orphans. It will cost a lot of money in order to better treat you. King Senpai also taught me a lot of medical ninjutsu. He is my benefactor. Then, does Nanoyu like him? Kabuto asked jealously. No. No, with my status, how can I be worthy of Senior? Besides, we are many years apart. You're overthinking. Nanoyu lowered his head. She didn't let Kabuto see her messy heart. Note. At this stage, Nayu is 24 years old and Jing is 39 years old. Dean, why are you blushing? Kabuto blinked. Are you blushing? No, I thought of other things. Nanoyu hurriedly changed the subject. Oh, but Kabuto, Kagami-senpai is very easygoing. He may find you a good teacher. Don't waste your talent. If you were more powerful in medical ninjutsu, you could save more unfortunate people and help me, right? It wouldn't hurt to see you. Okay. Kabuto lowered his head, although he was still reluctant. But in order to help the dean, he could humiliate himself. Seeing that Kabuto finally agreed, Nanoyu felt relieved, so he immediately briefly described Kabuto's situation. Then, he used the flying eagle to send a message back to Konoha. Konoha village. Uchiha clan land, in the clan chief's courtyard. A flying eagle landed in the courtyard and landed on Uchiha Kagami's shoulder. He was keenly aware of the origin of the flying eagle. Advertisement. Any news from the orphanage? Uchiha Kagami took out the white paper from Fei Ying's ankle, looked up and down, and raised his brows slightly. Is this kid Kabuto also appearing? It's about the same time. But No seems to want him to be a ninja of Konoha? I'm afraid this kid doesn't want to, but a talent like Kabuto is not only great in medical talent, He can even be said to be the only one who can inherit Orochimaru's mantle. Yakushi Kabuto. It can be said that this child's life has been full of twists and turns. In the original work, during the Third Ninja War, he suffered amnesia due to war trauma and was taken in by Nunoyu, the director of the orphanage. He is talented and has a strong medical talent. In a short period of time, he learned superb medical ninjutsu such as healing jutsu, chakra scalpel, and yin healing injury destruction. But he was short-sighted, so the dean gave her eyes to Kabuto. While Nunoyu was helping the Konoha shinobi heal his wounds, he met Orochimaru, one of the Sannin. He happened to discover Kabuto's amazing talent and planned to take him with him to train him. But Kabuto relies heavily on Nono and rejects Orochimaru. But Nanoyu was originally a member of Gen, even an elite of the intelligence department. He carried out espionage operations in major ninja villages all year round, and was known as the Walking Miko. Later, for unknown reasons, I voluntarily separated from the root tissue. Later, Iwagakure was formulating a large-scale combat plan, so Shimura Danzo found Nanoyu. In order to confirm the intelligence content, Danzo asked Nanoyu to sneak into Iwagakure and investigate as a spy. Nanoyu originally wanted to refuse. After all, he has long since left his roots, but the dog thief Danzo said, "If you don't agree, the orphanage will not receive financial support." Under such coercion, Nanoyu could only agree. Danzo lost one of his subordinates because of this information, so he forced Kabuto to join General for the sake of Dean Kabuto. He had no choice but to agree. And later, 5 years later, Kabuto was trained as a ninja spy. Searching for information in major ninja villages, Kabuto was later attacked due to a mistake. The one who fought him was actually the Dean Nono, but the people closest to him did not recognize him. The Dean was seriously injured and died. Kabuto fell into regret and confusion. This was also the moment when Kabuto's life took a huge turn. But in fact, speak the truth, but Kabuto's activities as a spy did not end. After Orochimaru died, he still could not recognize himself, so he injected Orochimaru's cells into himself with his genes, and later learned a large number of forbidden technique. Later, he was defeated by Uchiha Itachi and Izanami, but Kabuto's strength is unquestionable, and can even be said to be the limit of ordinary people. If talent is not enough, technology will make up for it. Because of this, Kabuto narrowly escaped death and Kabuto followed Orochimaru. It's amazing that ordinary people like Kabuto can learn magical arts through technological transformation. But, in this world known for its bloodline, as Konoha's spies and masters of Konoha's huge secrets, these two people can naturally be discarded after using them. Orochimaru was also ordered by Danzo to eradicate the two people. But if you want to engage in science, you must have that talent. As the saying goes, the reason why the director didn't recognize Kabuto was because the photos of Kabuto that Danzo the dog thief sent back to the orphanage were slightly changed year by year. Kabuto 5 years later was completely different from Kabuto before, which led to his situation of cannibalism. After all, Orochimaru took a fancy to Kabuto's talent. People like him who know nothing about science can only use various auras to cheat, such as impure world reincarnation and mastering the senjutsu of Ryuchi Cave. Uchiha Kagami admires him. Chapter 161. A lifetime of doing nothing? No, this is a waste of talent. Advertisement. And he was defeated by Itachi's Izanami, due to unclear self-understanding. As long as Kabuto can complete self-understanding, it is still unknown whether Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke can win Kabuto. Not to mention, Kabuto is also a master of realizing dreams. Later, he was cleared and became the director of the orphanage. He has inherited Yakushi Nono's dream, so Kabuto is still very important. Kabuto's other talents are another matter, but in terms of scientific attainments, I'm afraid only Kabuto can inherit Orochimaru's mantle. We need to find him a teacher, let's say Orochimaru. Uchiha Kagami decided in her heart. Then a flying thunder god came to Konoha's underground laboratory. Orochimaru was frightened and couldn't help but complain. Mirror, I told you, can you knock on the door next time? Just come in directly, flying thunder god. Are you really not taking me, the chief scientist of Konoha, seriously? Haha, look at you. Dang Sannin, how timid are you? Jang teased. Does this mean you were cowardly? If you suddenly come out of the pit when you were taking a poop, I will ask you if you were afraid, Orochimaru said speechlessly. Okay, I'm quite scared, Jing said. That's right, I was busy doing experiments, and you suddenly came out. Without any warning. Do you think it's scary or not? Please fly to the door next time, okay? Orochimaru said helplessly. Okay, definitely next time, Uchiha Kagami said seriously. Let's get down to business first. This time I have good news for you. Aren't you worried? Are there too few helpers in the laboratory? I happen to have a candidate now. Oh, where did it come from? What's its name? Orochimaru asked curiously. Kabuto, Nunoyu from the orphanage just gave me information, saying that he has a strong medical talent. But I think this child's future is limitless. Uchiha Kagami said firmly. What he is good at is not only his medical talent, but also his scientific attainments. I think he can even inherit your mantle. Didn't you say that this girl Anko is okay as an assistant, but she can't help you much? Why don't we just accept this child as a disciple, and we will have a legacy in the future? Inherit my mantle? This child is so talented. To be praised by the #1 person in the ninja world must be something special, right? Orochimaru couldn't help but be surprised. Of course, this child is a good seedling. You can pass on to him everything you have learned throughout your life, including Ryuchi Cave's celestial arts. Okay, let's see first. Are you coming with me? Let's go together now. Please bean sack. Wait for me to clean up the laboratory. Orochimaru hasn't finished speaking yet. Uchiha Kagami pressed on his shoulders. Pressing the index and middle fingers of one hand together, a flying thunder god disappeared from the spot. Not long after, they arrived at the gate of the orphanage. Orochimaru looked resentful. Can you let me clean up before leaving? I'm just halfway through the experiment, and all those materials were wasted. Isn't it just some materials? I'll compensate you 10 times, Jinkai said gruffly. Okay, then I have no objection, Orochimaru smiled. Uchiha Kagami's current financial resources are considerable. The Uchiha clan's properties are spread throughout Konoha, and as the leader of the Uchiha clan, he also gets the most dividends. There are even other wealthy families who want to cooperate with him recently. This guy makes much more money than a scientist. Advertisement. The two came to the orphanage. The orphanage was not big and was surrounded by a fence. There were many children playing in the yard. Nanoyu saw someone coming. I was suddenly pleasantly surprised and a little flattered. Kage-senpai, Orochimaru-sama, I didn't expect you two to come? Let's take a look at Kabuto. Didn't you say that this kid has a good talent? I have found a suitable teacher. If he likes it, Orochimaru will accept him as a disciple. Uchiha Kagami said bluntly. It's an honor, Kabuto. Nanoyu was very happy, although it seemed a little unclear to her. Kabuto's medical talent is so strong, shouldn't Tsunade be the one to take over as his disciple? What about Orochimaru? Although he was confused, he didn't say much. After all, he is one of the mighty Sannin, and Orochimaru is also the former Third Hokage, so it would be even better if he could become his apprentice. Then, under the leadership of Nanoyu, they found a little boy named Kabuto. He has light gray hair and looks ordinary, just a little better than a passerby. Orochimaru glanced at his glasses and said with his eyes, this kid, he looks like a B***ch who won't survive 3 episodes. Are you sure he can inherit my mantle? Uchiha Kagami. Absolutely, trust me. Kabuto's appearance is indeed like a supporting role. Even everyone thought he was just a marginal character. But later Kabuto transformed himself, injected Orochimaru's cells into himself, improved in pure world reincarnation, and learned Ryuchi Cave Senjutsu. Speak the truth, it really shocked a lot of people's jaws. Seeing how determined Uchiha Kagami was, Orochimaru stopped being polite. Kabuto, are you willing to join Konoha and become my disciple? And if you stay in the orphanage, you will only waste your own talents, and you can't even protect yourself, so how can you protect others? What are the benefits of becoming your disciple? Kabuto agreed immediately. Benefit? Oh, I'm not interested in these. Kabuto pouted. This made Orochimaru a little more interested, and he said with a half-smiling expression, being my disciple, Orochimaru, has many benefits. First of all, you will become a big shot from an ordinary person, and no one will dare to bully you. Uchiha Kagami chuckled and said, Kabuto, these don't seem important, but if you look at it from another angle, it is very important. You just want to protect Dean no, right? And becoming Orochimaru's disciple, you will be stronger. There are so many benefits, but you are not impressed at all? Young man, you don't want to be unable to protect Nanoyu when she is in danger, right? Shouldn't ordinary people kneel down and agree with tears of gratitude? Orochimaru was stunned. Wrong, very wrong. Kabuto said stubbornly. If I want to leave you, I might as well just do nothing for the rest of my life. As long as I can stay by your side. Those so-called benefits are not important to me. This guy doesn't have enough food and salt. Nanoyu was also anxious, pulled his sleeve, and Fuer said urgently. Kabuto, please agree quickly, as long as you become a ninja of Konoha. And a disciple of Sannin, you will live a happy life from now on. The dean is content with that. Not interested? This is just secondary. If your talent is decent, I can teach you all I have learned throughout my life. In the future, you will become a person comparable to Konoha Sannin. It is not impossible. Orochimaru didn't expect this boy's reaction, but, I don't want to leave you. Chapter 162 Nanoyu. Sorry, this person is hopeless. Advertisement. Besides. Uchiha Kagami continued. Nanoyu's ideal is to save unfortunate people. She is destined to run around in the wars of the ninja world. If she is not careful, she will offend people and be caught by those bad guys. But you don't know anything. How can you protect your loved ones? You can do nothing, or you can live in peace all your life. But your dean hopes that you will rise step by step, and hope that your children will rise to the top. Are you going to ignore the dean's wish? You are not a filial child. Me. Kabuto was stunned. Uchiha Kagami's words moved him. Yes, what if one day the dean is in danger? Although the orphanage was built by Konoha, it would be great if they can provide financial help. It would be too naive to ask for more help. Once a bad guy targets the orphanage, he targets the director. As a mediocre person, I am afraid I can only watch the dean fall into trouble. No, this is absolutely not possible. So Kabuto looked at Orochimaru and immediately kowtowed. I am willing to join Konoha, and I am willing to become your disciple. Actually, I don't want to anymore, Orochimaru muttered. Kabuto was confused. He didn't expect this development. Nanoyu was also stunned, but fortunately Uchiha Kagami stood up and patted the young Kabuto on the shoulder. He was joking, but your attitude just now will indeed make your teacher unhappy. You can do it in the future. Attention. I will. Thank you, Master Jing. Thank you, teacher, for your tolerance. Kabuto kowtowed respectfully. Okay, get up. His teacher. Kabuto stood up. His face showed due respect. And Nanoyu was also happy. Uchiha Kagami said slowly, of course. I know you still rely on the dean, so even if you leave Konoha, it doesn't mean you can't come to the orphanage. Orochimaru and I will go back first. Tomorrow morning, you can come to Konoha village to report to Orochimaru under the escort of No. You can spend more time with the director tonight. Thank you, Mr. Jing. Dudu felt warm in his heart. You're welcome. Orochimaru and Kagami left. No and Kabuto were left behind. The former rubbed his hair and warned. You still refused such a good opportunity just now. Fortunately, Kagami Senpai and Orochimaru ignored the past grudges, but since you have joined Muyi, we must contribute to Konoha. You must also respect your teacher and do what a student should do, do you understand? I understand, teacher. Kabuto said obediently, but since you have become Orochimaru's disciple, I should give you a gift as a congratulatory gift. Let me give you my glasses. Nanoyu took off his glasses. Wearing it on the bridge of Kabuto's nose, Kabuto felt that his vision had become much clearer. But what he cares more about is the meaning of the glasses themselves. After all, these are the glasses that the dean has worn for many years. They must be kept well and cherished. So he touched the back of his eyes and kowtowed to Nanayu with tears in his eyes. Dean, I will come to see you often. When I return from my studies, I will become your pride. Nanoyu smiled softly. Okay, good boy, but it's getting late now, good boy, you need to go to bed quickly. Okay, Dean. Kabuto nodded obediently. Nanoyu hugged him on the bed. Advertisement Kabuto fell asleep quickly, and there were many beds around him. They were all orphans. After Kabuto left, a boy next to him opened his eyes and glanced at Kabuto. What did you and the dean do today? I saw that the two at the door seemed to be ninjas from Konoha. Hey, I'm leaving the orphanage and becoming an outstanding ninja in Konoha, Kabuto said happily. Huh? Are you leaving? The boy suddenly felt depressed. His name is Ulusi and he is also a member of the orphanage. But since Kabuto came, he and Kabuto have become good friends, and the two of them talk about almost everything. What's wrong, Urusi? Are you sad? Kabuto said with a smile. I don't have that. I just don't understand. Don't you like everyone being together? The dean is so kind to us. Why do you want to be a ninja? Ulusi didn't understand. Because I want to protect everyone, the orphanage and the director, Kabuto said firmly. That's right, then I respect your decision. Thanks, but even though I leave the orphanage, I will come back often to see you and the director. That's good. The two teenagers fell asleep while chatting. Early the next morning, Kabuto woke up and Nanoyu had all his packages ready. After everyone said goodbye, the two set off for Konoha. The journey was actually not too far, and they probably arrived in half a day. Nanoyu warned Kabuto while walking. When you go to Konoha, you must be good. Even if you become Master Orochimaru's disciple, you must learn to be humble and don't be a bad boy. I know, Dean. Kabuto wasn't impatient at all. The more I heard the advice, the more happiness I felt in my heart. But the two of them had just walked less than a kilometer when they saw an unshaven man coming out of the bushes. The man was an ordinary-looking man with a person on his back. The man behind him appears to be a wounded man, and there were extensive burns all over his body. But the strange thing is that this man's face is covered with bandages, making it difficult to see his face. Save my brother, please. Who are you? Why are you approaching us? Nanoyu asked. We are just ordinary people. Now that the war has broken out, life for us ordinary people is worse than death. My brother accidentally got involved in the ninja battle, and was almost burned to death. Can you save my brother? Murakami Big Bear cried and said, my name is Murakami Big Bear, and my brother's name is Murakami Little Bear. I really didn't lie to you. Please, save my brother, woo woo woo. Okay, let me save your brother. Nanoyu relaxed his vigilance a little. There are actually many ordinary people like this who have been affected by the war. It is not difficult to sneak into the country of fire alive in order to survive. The border of the country of fire is too long, and even the spies from other ninja villages cannot be cleared away. Let alone the ordinary people who all swarmed in. Nanoyu walked over. He started the treatment with healing jutsu, but soon frowned. This man's injuries are too serious. Not only the surface of the skin is burned. Even the internal organs are damaged to varying degrees, and his eyes are full of white mist, and he is about to go blind. Sorry, this man is hopeless and there is nothing I can do. P.S. Chapter 4 has been posted directly. The numbers 28 and 29 would be better read together. The ones on the 30th and the 31st of May also be sent out at once, if there are manuscripts saved. Chapter 163 Black Zetsu. If we don't run away, our lives will be in danger. Advertisement, can't be saved. It seems that my brother's fate is really over. Murakami Dashong sighed, and Nonayu looked at him, feeling more and more weird in his heart. In fact, when she cured this person just now, she discovered that the burning on this person was definitely fire style, and it was caused by very advanced fire style ninjutsu. The time was at least half a month ago. There are very few people who know this type of fire style ninjutsu. At least it is a fire style that can only be displayed by the 5 great ninja villages, and it must be at the elite Jonin level. And elite Jonin, he is a well-known big shot in Shaorin village. They will not affect ordinary people for no reason. This is definitely against common sense. Moreover, the burned man in front of him is not that simple. He is not dead for half a month. It seems that the cells in his body maintain an amazing vitality, which means that he is not completely dead for half a month. Do you think this kind of person is an ordinary person? Although no, I'm just a Yakushi, I have cured so many ninjas, so I still have some perspective. These two people. There is definitely a problem with identity, and lying is inevitable. But in order to avoid unnecessary complications, as well as protecting Kabuto's safety, she decided not to provoke him. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. We still have things to do, so let's just say goodbye. Okay, thanks. Murakami Big Bear bowed. Watch them leave here step by step. When they left completely, Murakami's face began to distort, gradually turning into the appearance of white Zetsu, with barbs growing on his crotch. Under the ground, black Zetsu also slowly emerged. White Zetsu said in a low voice. What should I do? Master Black Zetsu, Nano, you can't save the masked man, are you just giving up? No, there is still hope. Didn't White Zetsu find out everything? Kabuto wants to become Orochimaru's disciple. We can't handle Orochimaru, but Kabuto, a child of only 6 or 7 years old, is too easy. Black Zetsu smiled sinisterly. If it weren't for Uchiha Kagami's interference, Obito would have become our pawn, and Kabuto, the child, would also be used by us. When the masked man is rescued, he will become our backbone in Konoha. White Zetsu. Oh, what are you going to do? Black Zetsu. It's very simple. Just need this, and this. White Zetsu. As expected of Black Zetsu-sama, he is resourceful, superior in strategy, leaderless, and the first to bear the brunt of the attack. Black Zetsu. White Zetsu, if you can't speak idioms, shut up. White Zetsu smiled and said, I actually have a name. Since a Fae had a name, I also gave myself a name. Black Zetsu raised an eyebrow. What's your name? White Zetsu said proudly. Away. My name is Away. How about it? Don't you know how powerful you are, and how you make progress every day? Okay, Away. Let's start executing the plan. Yes, Lord Black Zetsu. The other side, Nanoyu left with Kabuto. They found that neither Murakami Big Bear nor Murakami Two Bears were chasing them. I felt a little relieved, but I couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. These two people didn't catch up. Could it be, I thought wrong? Dean, what's wrong? Kabuto asked curiously. Fine. No, Nayu shook his head, and planned to tell the young Kabuto these troubles. However, they had walked almost halfway when suddenly, a dozen ninjas emerged from the bushes, all of them wearing masks. According to the order of the top brass, eradicate Yakushi Nanoyu. Do it. Phew. Whoosh, not enough words to speculate. These people immediately launched an attack on Nanoyu. A large number of kunai came flying towards him, almost completely blocking Nanoyu's escape route. Route? No, you are not from the Root organization? No, Nayu gritted his teeth. Advertisement. He pulled Kabuto and kept avoiding kunai. But the skin was still scratched by the sharp attack, and blood immediately oozed from the fair skin. Dean, are you okay? Kabuto asked worriedly. I'm fine. Nanoyu healed the wound, but the new wound was still bleeding. Kabuto's little face was panicked, and he was a little at a loss. Why? Why did they say what route? Didn't you tell me that this organization is not an organization under Uchiha Kagami? Why do they want to kill you? Kabuto, they are not Senior Jing's subordinates, they are all disguised by others. Nanoyu explained, but haven't had time to finish. The ground suddenly shook and a large number of rocks flew. Her whole body was thrown up, and several ninjas jumped up, and the katana in their hands penetrated Nono's abdomen. Puff. Nanoyu vomited blood. He fell heavily to the ground and looked sluggish. No. Kabuto's eyes were red, and he said hysterically, if you want to kill, just kill me. If I angered them yesterday, then just kill me. We will kill you too. The leading, Gen, member pretended to be cold. Master Orochimaru and Master Uchiha Kagami appreciate you so much, why don't you know how to show off and anger them? A kid like you also wants to become a ninja of Konoha? Haha, just go and die. The Root member raised his hand and threw out his shuriken. He was about to kill Kabuto, but suddenly someone appeared. It was the big bear Murakami from before who came, holding a ninja sword and flicking the kunai away, and knocked back all the Root members in 2 or 3 strokes. Murakami Big Bear. Thank you for helping me. No, I have to save the Dean quickly. Dean, please don't die. Kabuto burst into tears. He threw himself in front of the Dean, his hands glowing with green light. Unfortunately, Nono's injuries were too serious, and Kabuto had just learned medical ninjutsu not long ago, which was not enough to treat such a serious injury. Watching. Nanoyu was about to die completely. Kabuto cried hysterically, his eyes full of anger and hatred. No, Dean, don't die. You haven't seen me become your pride. I want Konoha to pay the price. I want to kill them, woohoo. Pocket, don't hate Konoha. Yi Nayu felt sad. She could feel that this was a game between Murakami and these ninjas of unknown origin. Just to make Kabuto hate Konoha, but she didn't know the other party's purpose at all, and the injury was so severe that it was too difficult to speak. Saying 6 words is already the limit. She could feel life passing by quickly, and looking at Kabuto's regretful face, she couldn't help but feel a little regretful in her heart. Maybe. My decision was wrong. If Kabuto was not allowed to join Konoha and he was not allowed to appear in everyone's sight, wouldn't all this happen? At this moment, Kabuto was still crying, a long distance away. Away stood indifferent. To be honest, looking at this scene, he was a little irritated and impatient, and he wanted to kill the half-dead Nanoyu directly. It's obvious, People's joys and sorrows are not the same. However, before Awei could do anything, suddenly, in the distance, Black Zetsu emerged from the ground, looking flustered. Quick! Take Kabuto and run. Awei wondered. Why? No, Nayu is not dead yet. Black Zetsu's eyebrows were burning, and he was almost anxious. Don't wait, you idiot. That damn Uchiha Kagami is coming. He can actually sense that Nanoyu is about to die from a distance of more than 10 kilometers. It's really a ghost. Run. If you don't run, our lives will be in danger. Chapter 164 The insidious and cunning Black Zetsu succeeded in instigating rebellion? Advertisement, what? Awei was dumbfounded. He quickly grabbed his bag and got into the ground. Black Zetsu also disappeared in a flash, running faster than a rabbit. Less than 3 seconds after they left, Uchiha Kagami appeared next to Nono, looking at the direction where White Zetsu left underground. Damn Black Zetsu again. This guy is really seeking death. Forget it, Nono is about to die. I have to revive Nono first. First, take Nono back to Konoha and hand him over to Orochimaru. Uchiha Kagami looked gloomy. He actually never thought that Black Zetsu would target Nanoyu. After all, Nono was just a slightly famous Yakushi, but he never thought that Black Zetsu would not let go of even a small role as long as there was a chance. At the speed of the flying thunder god, he went directly to Konoha's underground laboratory. Quick, save her. Okay, I'll give her a temporary Hashirama potion with no side effects first to save her life. Orochimaru doesn't talk nonsense either. He immediately took out a temporary Hashirama potion. This is the same model that was used on Kushina. It will not cause any physical burden, but will only make people full of stronger vitality. And Kushina relied on Hashirama cells to avoid the tailed beast's death. Although Nanoyu's injuries were serious, with the help of this potion, it should not be difficult to save his life. As expected, Zeno Nayu did not die, and his life gradually stabilized. However, due to the serious injuries, he is still in a coma and needs to rest for a while before he can wake up. Orochimaru frowned. What's the situation? Why is someone targeting the orphanage? This orphanage has no value in the first place, except for those orphans. Why did Black Zetsu kill Nono? I don't know, but I think it has something to do with the serious injury of the masked man. Uchiha Kagami shook his head. The masked man and Nagato fought against each other. The injuries were probably too serious, so Black Zetsu asked Nunoyu for treatment. But for some reason, they suddenly took action. Kabuto was taken away by Black Zetsu and is now missing. That's it. It's a bit strange. Orochimaru was puzzled. Nono is just a Yakushi. And Kabuto is just a kid who has just shown a little bit of medical talent. Why would Black Zetsu focus on such a little person? Could it be that Black Zetsu thinks Kabuto can cure the masked man? Uchiha Kagami suddenly thought of something. Huh? Kabuto cured the masked man? No. Orochimaru didn't believe in evil. Kabuto is just a child, and he has learned very few medical ninjutsu. Why does Black Zetsu think that Kabuto can cure the masked man? Is he just trying to be a living doctor? Isn't he just ignoring him at all? Yes, it's just a dead horse, and the orphanage's defense is very poor. I can only prevent Konoha from having White Zetsu infiltrate, and other places in the Fire Country can't care. Then Black Zetsu learns about Kabuto. The news of becoming my disciple has definitely been leaked. Uchiha Kagami's eyes flashed and he said, and you, Orochimaru, are the #1 scientist in the ninja world. Under my promotion. No one has dared to deny this fact. But Black Zetsu can't instigate you to treat the masked man, so he can only rely on Kabuto. That makes sense. I think it's very possible, but how can he instigate Kabuto? Orochimaru agreed. Well, the method is very simple. Uchiha Kagami hasn't finished speaking yet. Suddenly, advertisement a swirling white Zetsu emerges from the ground. Afei looked extremely anxious and said, it's not good, it's not good. Black Zetsu has sent many white Zetsu, people disguised as Konoha, to kill Nanoyu and try to instigate the boy named Kabuto to rebel. Please support them quickly. You're late, Fei. Nanoyu was rescued by us, Orochimaru said speechlessly. Ah, Afei was stunned. Uchiha Kagami looked at him and said in a cold tone, didn't I tell you to keep an eye on Black Zetsu? If there is any change, report it immediately. Why did you only find out after they took action? Fei, haven't you made your position clear yet? I have always been yours. Afei hurriedly denied. It's Black Zetsu who has not let me get close to the root network, and even sent several white Zetsu to keep an eye on me, and now he has an additional white Zetsu named Awei, who has become his henchman. I had no way of obtaining information from White Zetsu's underground root network. I finally noticed the anomaly and got rid of the White Zetsu who were monitoring me. Only then did I obtain the information. I will report back immediately. Master Jing, my loyalty can be seen from the sun and the moon, and I will never have a second heart. Except for my favorite shit, no one can shake my loyalty to you, Mr. Mirror. I really didn't mean it, woo woo woo. Okay, I got it. Uchiha waved his hand, and Jing was slightly relieved. It seems that just like Obito, Black Zetsu plans to use a similar method to make Kabuto hate us, but fortunately Nono is not dead. Then Black Zetsu's plan is not it will be successful. What about Kabuto? Will he come back? Orochimaru asked. Of course, Black Zetsu doesn't know that Nanoyu is not dead. In order to save and cure the masked man, he will definitely let Kabuto come back. But before coming back, Black Zetsu will definitely brainwash Kabuto and make Kabuto hate us in Konoha, Kagami said firmly. I understand, let Nanoyu explain it when the time comes. I think it shouldn't be a big problem, Orochimaru said. Uchiha Kagami nodded. Black Zetsu, an old silver coin, is not that easy to catch. And unlike white Zetsu, they have souls, so his spiritual perception can detect white Zetsu's actions underground. But black Zetsu is different. He is a product of Otsutsuki Kaguya's will created by Yin Yang Dun. He didn't know why. It seemed like it had no soul and could hardly sense the existence of black Zetsu. Therefore, it was too difficult to catch black Zetsu. And this time, you really can't blame him for being careless. It's that there are too many people around him and there is no way to take care of everyone. If he hadn't been able to sense the death of a familiar person through the spiritualization technique, and then rush over with the flying thunder god, Nanoyu would have died. But after this lesson, he also understood the unscrupulous tactics of Black Zetsu, a filial son. Therefore, he planned to wait for Nanoyu to wake up and move the orphanage to Konoha. At least in Konoha, Black Zetsu would not dare to act recklessly. Hill Cemetery. Underground space, Black Zetsu and Aoi escape. Afei wiped the sweat from his forehead. It's so dangerous. That guy Uchiha Kagami is so outrageous. Even though I use the mayfly technique to sneak into the ground, I can still detect his gaze. It seems that isolating the breath is useless. I know, although I don't know what technique it is. Black Zetsu said hoarsely. But he seems to be able to detect you through other senses. He can also detect the aura of the people around him. So he noticed something abnormal about Nanoyu for a certain period of time, but fortunately we succeeded this time. Nunoyu will die from such a serious injury. Kabuto is one of ours. Chapter 165 Let Kabuto act as a spy? Concerns from Nanoyu. Advertisement, Aoi glanced at Kabuto in the corner. It was found that the young man was in a state of despair, and he was completely indifferent to the conversation between the two of them. He seemed to have completely lost his nostalgia for this world, so Black Zetsu stepped forward and patted his face, his tone gradually becoming harsher. Kabuto, don't you want revenge? Revenge? How can I take revenge? I'm so weak, Kabuto said regretfully. Aren't you apprenticed to Orochimaru? Then you can go back and continue learning. Of course, I can also help you secretly. Sooner or later, you will succeed, Black Zetsu said. Help me? How can you help? Kabuto asked. Black Zetsu pointed at the charred masked man on the ground. This man is also a member of the Uchiha clan. He awakened Mangekyō Sharingan. As long as you learn the Orochimaru technique and save him, you can take revenge. You sure? Kabuto looked at the man in the charcoal mask and asked suspiciously. If he is really so strong, why was he burned into charcoal? Don't think that I am young. You just want to lie to me. This is an accident, but you will get what you want anyway. Black Zetsu deliberately provoked. Besides, do you have any other choice? Your respected dean died in front of you. Are you going to give up now? You are a coward too? I'm not a coward. Kabuto gritted his teeth. Hatred flashed in the depths of his eyes. Even if I give up this life, I will avenge the dean and make Konoha pay the price with blood. Okay, that's it. Then go back to Orochimaru first. Konoha's White Fang will never be able to sneak into it, but you can come out and contact Aoi, Black Zetsu ordered. But, Orochimaru and Uchiha Kagami teamed up to kill my dean. Will I throw myself into a trap when I go back? Kabuto asked suspiciously. How could it be? Those root ninjas were ordered by the top brass of Konoha, not from Uchiha Kagami and Orochimaru. Maybe they were just orders from one of the captains of the root. Black Zetsu smiled hoarsely and quietly patched it up. This orphanage in Nanoyu has insulted the top management of Konoha. They think you have no need to live, so they want to eradicate you. Orochimaru and Uchiha Kagami may not really know. I see, then I understand. Kabuto nodded, didn't suspect anything. After all, he was only about 6 or 7 years old. And having just experienced the death of a loved one, the mental shock was too great. So without thinking too much, under Aoi's escort, Kabuto was sent back to Konoha village 3 kilometers away. You can walk the rest of the way by yourself, and let me tell you, my real name is Aoi, Aoi said. Aoi, why don't you send me to the gate of Konoha? Kabuto wondered. Because, I'm too lazy to leave. Aoi didn't tell the truth. He was actually worried about being too close to Konoha village. It would be terrible to be discovered by Uchiha Kagami, but his life is still at stake. It took Kabuto almost a while to arrive at the door of Konoha, and there was a curly-haired man waiting at the door. Who are you? You look a bit like Aoi. My name is Afei. Afei said with a smile. Master Jing asked me to wait for you here. Kabuto frowned. Why are you waiting for me? Waiting for you to see Nanoyu. Nanoyu is still alive. What? Kabuto immediately became anxious. Are you lying to me? The dean was obviously about to die at that time. He was so far away from Konoha. How could he be revived? Besides, Uchiha Kagami wants to kill the director. Why do you want to save the dean? This is definitely a lie. Advertisement. If you don't believe it, why don't you just see it with your own eyes? Moreover, she is awake now, and her injuries have basically healed. She is in the house on the left turn of the street in front. You can go to her for all the doubts and puzzles you have in mind. Let's talk. I have to go to the hut now, so I won't take you with me. Afei shrugged his shoulders. He just left the place and headed straight to the hut excitedly. Kabuto felt that this man was really strange. Why was he so excited about going to the latrine? But he was too lazy to do that. He suppressed his throbbing heart and followed a phase guidance to the door of a wooden house. Dean. Is he inside? Kabuto felt very uneasy. He was worried that everything was a scam, everything was a lie. But what was unexpected was that the door opened automatically. Sitting inside was a woman with long blonde hair, which made him freeze in place. Dean. It's me. Come in, Kabuto. Wow, Dean, you're not dead, it's really great. Kabuto couldn't hold himself tight any longer. He rushed directly into Nanoyu's arms and cried loudly. Nanoyu touched his hair gently. This child's heart is very fragile, much more fragile than other orphans. After all, he has no relatives in his memory, and Kabuto has already regarded her as the closest and dearest person to him. After crying for a long time and still not stopping, Nanoyu smiled and said, There are other people here, Kabuto. You are a man, don't let others see the joke. Huh? Sorry. Only then did Kabuto realize. Uchiha Kagami and Orochimaru were also sitting in the room. Kabuto, are you willing to be a spy? Uchiha Kagami chuckled. You can indeed do it, Kabuto. Your talent is very strong, even stronger than your respected dean imagined. Don't belittle yourself, otherwise how could I let Orochimaru accept you as a disciple? Woolencloth? He is just a child of 6 or 7 years old. After a detailed explanation, Kabuto suddenly realized. In other words, Aoi and the others are the bad guys. They deliberately disguised themselves as Konoha ninjas and want to kill the dean and make me surrender to them. If something happens to you, you will regret it for the rest of your life. She actually understood that this was an excellent opportunity, but she didn't want Kabuto to act as a spy. In his eyes, the child's safety was the most important thing. Orochimaru looked at Kabuto and said hoarsely, But since we have seen through their plan, why not just use it? Let Kabuto act as a spy and keep an eye on Black Zetsu's every move? Nanoyu had a worried look on his face, but, to be honest, I don't have that confidence. Yes, that's true, Uchiha Kagami said. Kabuto felt guilty. It doesn't matter, you're still young. Jing didn't care, before Kabuto could say anything. And in order to continue to cause harm to the ninja world. They hope that I can learn Mr. Orochimaru's science and technology and save this masked man? That's it. I'm sorry, Master Kagami, I betrayed your trust. I thought Konoha was a bad person, I'm sorry. Kabuto blushed. The masked man was so seriously injured, why did they think they could do it? And Kabuto is so young.